Hi y'all, good morning. What do you say me and you go catch us a few fish today? I'm gonna get the fishing started a little bit earlier than what I thought it was. I had come out here we got something, I hear them. I thought I heard them. There's something over there. I'm telling you, man, it's stimulation overload out here right now. I launched in the back of this creek with the plan of going out to the main channel today. We're gonna do some fishing out there. But I'm coming through this creek and all of a sudden I see shad getting blown up, man. I mean, something hammering a school of shad. I don't know if it's largemouth bass, white bass, I don't know what. So I said, you know what, we're just gonna start our fishing right here. We're gonna work our way out to the channel, but we're gonna start right here in this creek and just kind of fish our way along, see what we can get. Maybe we'll run into whatever that school was that was blowing up them shad. I'd like to catch a few of them. So I'm gonna put y'all in the chest here. I'll show you what we're gonna be fishing with today, and then we're gonna get after it, man. This here, my favorite ultralight bait, that is a 1-inch Gulp minnow in the smelt color, which looks like our threadfin shad out here. It's on a 1/64 ounce jig head, number 8 size hook, 2-pound test line on a St. Croix Panfish Series ultralight rod, 6 foot long and 1,000 size Daiwa reel. Now what I'm gonna do is just take this jig and the Gulp and we're gonna cast today. We're gonna make a bunch of casts. We'll start here in this creek, work our way out to the channel, and just throw at everything. All these down trees, any objects we see, and especially if we see fish busting, chasing a school of shad, we will most definitely throw at that. But I'm just gonna leave this camera going today. We're gonna go raw and uncut, unedited, bring y'all with me out here today. You'll see every cast from right now when I'm starting till when I roll out of here today. I'm gonna fish for 3 or 4 hours this morning here before I venture out to the real world. Got some peopling to do today. It takes a lot out of me to go to the grocery store, but that's what I'm gonna do when I leave here. So that's why I had wanted to go out in the main channel. This creek I launched in, I'm on Fort Loudon Reservoir. And this creek that I've launched in here is a pretty busy creek. It's got a boat ramp in the back of it, and a lot of people use this creek. Even on a weekday like I'm fishing today, people launch here, people fish in this creek, and it's like, I knew this was gonna be covered up. Oh, something hit me. So I was like, I'll just run out to the main channel this morning. Oh, there's one. We got a fish right here. Fish number 1, a few casts in to the trip, we got us a bluegill. Come on down, bluegill. Yeah, I thought we'll get out here to the main channel. We'll hide from people today. When they launch in this creek, just me people watching, doing some studying of human behavior. I've learned 2 things. When people fish out of this creek, they either fish in the creek or they make a run out. Nobody ever just goes outside of this creek and fishes the main channel right here in front of it. Nobody ever does. Oh, I had another one hit me. So I thought we'll go out there, we'll have that area to ourselves. Even if there's a lot of people at this launch today, we can go out there, have it to ourselves. Every time I've ever fished it, I've had it to myself. So I said, that's what we're gonna do today, but I'm coming out of this creek and I see them shad getting blown up. And I was like, well, I guess we're stopping right here and we're gonna get our fishing day going. But now, of course, by the time I get the camera pulled out and get it on, of course, something jumped right there in front of us trying to get a cameo. Everybody's trying to get on this video today, y'all, everybody. There's 2 geese over there, once on this video, fish jumping. Everybody. But, you know, by the time I got the dang camera out and got set up, them fish that was busting the shad, they gone. They could be anywhere in this creek chasing shad, but we're gonna find some more today. We'll find a bunch of fish today. Doing this ultralight fishing with this style of bait this time of year, it's a good way to get large numbers of fish. We may get something splash. They're up under these trees over here splashing a little bit. You get large numbers of fish doing this. We've also got a chance at a variety of species today, whether it be bluegill, crappie, largemouth, smallmouth, white bass, yellow bass. You just never know what's going to hit that bait. Could be anything. So we're going to make a few casts here in this creek, and then we're going to get out here, go to the main channel. I also need your help today, y'all. I need you to keep your eyes peeled. Oh, one hit me then. We yanked it right out of his mouth. Did you see that? I need to keep your eyes peeled. If y'all see any skipjack busting, that's the reason I'm fishing this area today, this section, is I'm curious if there's any skipjack here right now. I got my skipjack rods with me. I don't need any skipjack today as far as keeping them, because I'm not going to get to fish tomorrow due to the weather. And then Friday, which the next day, I need to make a bait run to get ready for a tournament on Saturday. So there's no reason to keep any today. But I would like to know if there's some here, because it's that time of year where I expect some to kind of be in this area as they make their way back downriver. And skipjack in the spring, they make their run way upriver as far as they can go to spawn. Once they're done with that, here's a fish. Come on, fishy. We liable to, as active a morning as it is with fish chasing bait out here, we liable to reel in one of these bluegill and have a bass come up and smash it. Nope, he didn't want to be on video. But them skipjack, you know, they make their run upriver, springtime. They spawn. Then they start making their way back down. And what I've noticed is, through the years, is that as they make their way back downriver, when they come up on a major creek system, here's another fish. We're on some right here. Small bluegill thus far. I'm hoping our bluegill quality, I hope they improve a little bit when we get out here in the main channel maybe. But I feel like just what I've noticed through the years, just observation I've made, them skipjack, as they make their way back downriver, as they come up on these creek systems, especially the larger creek systems, they tend to stay there for a little while. They'll hang out a couple weeks, a month, then they'll continue moving downriver. Now, some of the fish will stay at that particular creek. The rest of them will move on. And then once you figure out kind of what creek they're at, you can follow that school for the rest of the summer. You can go, you know, get them there at the creek you found them at. Then you'll show up one day, most of them will be gone, so then you go down to the next one, and you can follow that pattern all summer long. Well, them fish have left the spawning grounds, and now I'm having trouble finding them. So they are somewhere between there and possibly here. And so I was just curious today. I thought, you know, I'm gonna come out here, we'll do some ultralight fishing, and we'll keep our eyes peeled. So if y'all see any skipjack today, holler at a playa, tap me on the shoulder, let me know. Oh, look at this heron over here. I don't know if you can see over there there was some shad getting worked, and he went over there and snatched him. When some fish had run them shad up on the bank, and that heron's under a bush over there. That heron seized an opportunity, buddy. That heron, he says he may not be able to eat one of them bass, but he can use them to help him catch the fish he can eat. Yeah, I thought we might get out here to this creek mouth, out here in the main channel. Sometimes, well, usually most of the time, when I catch skipjack, here's another fish. Oh, it's a little bass. Tiny bass right here. tiny large jaw, species number 2 though. A few minutes in. We can only get bigger from here on the bass. He's setting the bar low. But usually when I get on these skipjack here in the summer months, usually don't find them in the creeks so much as you'll get them at the creek mouths and out in the main channel in front of the creeks. Like they might be out there in the middle of the damn channel, but they'll be staged up in front of these creeks and they'll just hang out. They'll be there a couple weeks, maybe a month, depending on the creek, and then the bulk of the school goes on. And eventually, they'll find their way down to the lower end of the reservoir. But right now, again, it seems to be we're in some kind of little transition right now, and I have lost the school. So y'all keep your eyes open for them. I'm gonna get us spun around here and make a few more casts here along the shoreline. Seems like we drifted off a little bit further away than what I want to be. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna bring yous with me today. Unedited, raw and uncut, y'all my fishing buddies today. We'll set out here, we'll catch some fish, we'll tell some stories. I got a few to tell. Had an interesting experience yesterday, made an observation about Daniel from Catfish Sumo. I'm gonna get y'all's take on that. I'm gonna tell you a story about me getting my windshield busted. I gotta get that resolved too. Add that to my to-do list. But we're gonna have us a good morning here. It's gonna be hot as blazes today. It's another reason for the short trip, that and the fact I got stuff to do today, but we'll have us some fun out here this morning until it gets hot and catch us a bunch of fish and have us a good time and hopefully locate some skipjack that I can come back and pick off a few on Friday. Although, here's a little update for you as we reel in another fish. What is this? Is this a perch? Okay, species number 3, y'all. I never catch these. I never catch these right here. I bet you I've caught less than 15 my whole life. This is a yellow perch, common fish where a lot of you all are at, not so much down here in East Tennessee. We have them, we just don't have them in good numbers. I rarely ever get one. He's just a tiny thing. Go! I think that was a yellow perch. Was that a yellow perch or was that some kind of shiner actually, now that I think about it? That may have been some kind of shiner. He was so small, it was kind of tough to tell, I guess. When I first saw them stripes on him, I thought yellow perch, but then when I got a better look at him and saw that orange on his tail, now I'm wondering if it was some kind of shiner. I don't know, shiners have more of like a, I don't think shiners have them stripes. Either way, it's another species. As them geese, they want to make a scene before they leave. But my regular viewers, my regular fishing buddies, I should say, those of you that come fishing with me, every time I'm uploading one of these trips, y'all call me a liar right now. Because in the last video, here they come back, well, they ain't done. Duck, y'all, duck. All right, we survived it. You never, when you got birds like that flying over your head, you always gotta worry about one of them crapping on you. I've been hit with doo-doo before. Them birds, man, they have incredible aim, and you get a goose like that. I've never had a goose crap on me as they're flying over, but I've seen a lot of goose crap around these boat launches and stuff, and it's big piles, so you get hit with a pile of goose crap from 30 feet. It might knock your ass out. Hitting that kind of force, depending on what they've eaten. I don't even remember that. Them damn geese got me so worried about getting crapped on, I don't even know where I was going with the conversation. Oh, I was talking to y'all regular fishing buddies here. Last video there, I was talking about going doing some catfishing. That was gonna be the next trip. Well, it was. but I decided to scrap the video because I stunk it up. Don't get me wrong, I got 2 good fish. I got a nice blue and I got a flathead that was, I don't know if you'd call him a good fish, but it was a cool looking flathead. He was probably 30 inches maybe, 30-inch flathead. The blue was dang good. But I caught that blue the tail end of my session. I mean, I'm like 4 hours in. I caught that blue as I caught this snag right here. Hopefully I didn't set the hook so hard we don't get it back. But I was like, man, you know, because I get out there on the water. I went down to Nickajack, right? Because I've got this tournament coming up. And I have not spent any time down there on Nickajack. Like, I am completely just unprepared for this tournament. There we go, got it back, all right. Getting lucky first thing here, y'all. But anyway, I go down there because I want to get a day of practice in. Just, if nothing else, to rule out some places to fish on tournament day, because we're in the spawn right now, man. The catfish are spawning. It's a terrible time to be having a catfish tournament. Really, because I mean, it's going to be, you're going to have to get a little bit lucky. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think whoever wins this tournament coming up on Nickajack is probably going to have a big flathead on their score, because the flatheads go on the nest a little later. So I'm expecting a big flathead to be caught. Big blue's possible. You know, the males, most of the males are going to be on the nest. Female fish, they go in, lay their eggs, they come back out. So they're still going to be a possibility. But I'm really expecting to need to catch a big flathead to have a chance at winning this tournament. I think a person could have 3 blues on their score and cash in this tournament potentially, depending on the size. But to win, I think it's probably going to take a big flathead. So I went down there, tried to get a practice session in, place I'd never fished before. Immediately hook up a flathead, just first 10 minutes or so. I'm like, heck yes, here we go. And then I sat there, and I sat there, and I sat there, and I didn't get another bite. So I ended up making a run back downriver, closer to where I launched at, where I had fished before and had success. And I finished out my trip on a spot that's 110 feet deep. It's a deep hole. And I busted a big blue cat and another fish, just boom, boom, back to back. And so, you know, it was at the tail end of the trip, and I was like, you know, hell, I ain't gonna post this mess. I ain't gonna make you sit through that long of not catching fish. I want these raw and uncut, unedited videos. I want them to be real fishing trips, but I want them to be entertaining too. And days where I'm just twiddling thumbs because I can't buy fish, y'all don't want to go on them trips. Hell, I don't blame you. Hell, I don't want to go on them trips. I want to go on trips where it's action-packed, you know. That's what I want. Oh, that one hit me. So anyway, I scrapped it, but I did at least get a little feedback on an option of where I'm going to go on tournament day. And so I think I'm probably going to go to that spot. It's 110 feet deep. It's a hole that I've fished before. I've not fished there a ton on video. I've made videos there, but I've not made a lot of videos there. And so I'm hoping the places I've done the best at on Nickajack are going to be covered up with people. Those spots are burned, so tournament day, you know damn good and well, those spots are going to have people on them. But this spot, I'm hoping, especially if I get there early, because what I'm going to do in this tournament, I'm going to hit that spot lock, I'm going to drop baits down, and I'm going to put in 8 hours there. Like, I'm not moving. I am not moving. I'm going to have baits in for the full 8 hours. I mean, it's the spawn. I need every second I can to try to put together a good score in this thing. That's at least what I feel like. So I'm gonna put in 8 hours on this spot. Now, I have another thought. It's kind of gonna be a tall. I'm thinking I'm gonna go there. I'd say there's 80% chance I'm gonna go there, because I know there's at least one big fish still in there that ain't spawning because I caught it. And hopefully it's gonna be, hopefully I could entice that fish again if it's still there. But the way it's situated on that ledge, more fish are gonna be working through that area. And I think you put in 8 hours, you got a damn good chance. Now, the other option that I'm considering is a place, it's where our check-in is at, and I filmed videos there. I filmed a lot of videos there. And that's where I think everybody's gonna be, but I'm thinking about making a long run downriver to a place where I haven't fished on video, but except one time, and that video didn't do well. It didn't get a lot of views, and so I'm hoping it didn't really get noticed. And so I'm thinking about maybe, oh, here's a fish. Thumped me, man. I felt kabonk. But I'm hoping maybe people won't make that run to get down there. And since it's at the launch that where our check-in is at, oh, don't spike me, bluegill. Let me make you a star here before we let you go, and he don't care about being no star, does he? He just wanted his Gulp minnow and not a damn thing else. He's one of them people that goes to the timeshare presentation with no intention of buying a timeshare. He just wanted the free meal and the free show tickets. That's all that fish wanted, I know it. He's one of those people. Let me tell you though, if you go to a timeshare presentation just to get the free meal and show tickets, you earned it. When you go deal with them sleazebag salesmen for their sales pitch there that just goes on and on and on, you earned whatever it is they're giving you that you're gonna have to pry out of their cold dead hands to get. But anyway, back to tournament strategy that y'all care so much about. If I use that launch site, yes, I'll be making a long run downriver, but I still should be able to fish right up till quitting time and make it back to check-in before our cutoff time, because I'll be making it my way back. And here's the thing. So tournament run 7 to 3, we have an hour to make it back to our check-in location. If you use the launch site where the check-in is at, you don't actually have to be at the ramp. You have to be within eyesight of the ramp. Here's a fish. This is pulling a little harder right here now. Boy, listen, this is gonna be a little, he may be a bluegill, but if he is, he's gonna be a little bigger one. He is a bluegill, yep. Better quality though. I knew that one was fighting a little bit harder right there. Nice bluegill. Biggest one so far. We're getting out here now on the main channel a little bit, and maybe our quality's gonna improve. At least that's what I hope anyway. But anyway, we have to be within eyesight of where our check-in's at if we use that launch. So because of the way the launch is and the way the river runs there, I won't have any issues making it back to check-in on time. At least getting within eyesight of the check-in location there. So that's another possibility, but I haven't been able to go down there and check it out to see what's going on there, and that's concerning. I don't really want to show up there in the blind, you know, having not been there recently. So the other spot, I at least know I can catch fish. I mean, in my 4-hour session out there, I only caught 3 fish, but it's a 3-fish limit. And I got one big blue, flathead, 30 inches or so, and then another smaller blue. So is that gonna win the tournament? No. Is that gonna cash in the tournament? Probably not. But if I got 8 hours to put into that spot, and I start where I got that big fish at and put in all 8 hours there, well, who knows what happens. So, and here's the other thing that I found very interesting on this trip. And I can't believe that I'm going to potentially be doing this on tournament day. My regular fishing buddies here that's been with me a while, you're going to have a hard time believing this too. I'm honestly, I'm having a hard time getting the words out right now because I can't believe I'm going to say this. It don't even seem real in my head. But I think I'm going to go down there on tournament day as we reel in another fish right here. Let's see what this is. This is off the tip of this tree. Is this a crappie? Yeah, we got us a crappie right here, folks. Hello, crappie. We're going to measure this one. This one may come with us today, actually. Right off the edge of this tree right here. If he's 10 inches, you're having a bad day, crappie. I don't know that you are. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my measuring board here. I don't know that you are, crappie. I think you might be a little short. You're worth measuring anyway, though. No, he is too. Look at there. He's 10 1/4, almost 10 1/2. All right, folks. Well, here's what I need you to do. First off, let's get off this tree here before we blow up on it. You know what you didn't do before we left the launch there? You didn't put water in the bucket. That's on me, because honestly, I didn't think we were going to need it today. I brought the bucket in case we got on some crappie, but I wasn't expecting us to really get on crappie. This, I'll put him in my bucket, and we will try our best to keep him alive until tournament day, and we'll have us a live crappie down there. Hang on, crappie, I'm coming. Hang on a minute. We should have definitely put water in this bucket, though, before we left the launch, because it's harder to do this if you're in the kayak, especially this kayak that's not quite as stable, I guess you'd say. It's stable enough for me to land big fish, but as far as getting a 5-gallon bucket full of water into the tank well behind me, not so much. Okay. All right, y'all did a good job with that. Thanks for your help. Couldn't have done it without you. Let's get hold of our crappie here before he jumps out. Hang on, crappie, hang on. Get hold of you real good. I don't want to lose you after we went to all that trouble filling our bucket up. There he goes. Okay. Let's get our aerator on. This is one of them little cheapo Amazon $20 jobs. They're not the best quality, but they do serve the purpose. You definitely need to plug them in. You don't get the runtime on them that they claim, but it'll hopefully get us home. Of course, it's already saying it's in the red right there. Hopefully. But that's just fishing a short trip today. Hopefully he'll be fine. I'll get him on the plug-in when I have there at home. Hey, all right, y'all. Possibly, maybe, we might have a live bait in the tournament here, if he can survive. Let's see if he's got some friends over here on this tree. I caught him right on the tip of this tree. But I was saying, though, I was trying to say, as far as bait goes for this tournament, and again, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think going down there to Nickajack in the tournament, you know, Nickajack, Reservoir of the Tennessee River, skipjack, my favorite bait on the Tennessee River. You know what I think my primary bait's going to be? I think it's going to be bluegill. I think it's going to be bluegill, y'all. My big fish from my one session down there practicing, my big blue came on a live bluegill. I talked to Ryan Boards. He's been down there for 2 weeks, you know, camping and fishing every day. his better fish have come on bluegill. He's used skipjack, he's used white bass. So I think I'm going to end up taking some. I know I'm going to take some bluegill with me. That's a fact. I'm definitely taking bluegill, but I think it's probably going to be my primary bait. I'm probably going to have. I'm going to be fishing with 4 rods, but I'm probably going to have 2 to 3 rods with bluegill on to start, based on what I've heard from Ryan and then what I personally just experienced myself. So it's hard to believe that. You all know I use bluegill a fair amount. I've used it a lot through the years for bait. I just snagged that tree. We're gonna spook any more crappie that is on this tree trying to get it. But a lot of places, and I hear this in my comment box, a lot of places bluegill is a fine bait. People swear by it. They say it's their favorite bait oftentimes. I hear that in my comment box so frequently. But personally, I've just never really had, got our jig back, I've never really had good success with bluegill. I catch numbers of fish on it, but I don't ever catch, oh crap, oh boy. We looped it around the tree, threw it back, about put y'all's eye out, and somehow or another, now we've got it wrapped around a rod tip. Y'all are professionals out here today. Professional casters, what y'all are. But, you know, I like bluegill. I love catching bluegill. It's one of my favorite fish to catch. We actually got one right. Oh, we had one. Oh, what's going on with my line? There we go. But I just don't do well catfishing on Tennessee River with it. I just don't. I never have. I catch numbers of fish, but that big fish I got down there on Nickajack on bluegill was one of the first big fish I've got on bluegill in a long time. Like I just don't do it. You put it side by side with skipjack or white bass or crappie or shad. It don't compare. The other baits will outfish it every single time. But not that day, not my one practice day down there. The live bluegill got it done. And like I said, Ryan's had some success on bluegill this past week too. It's outperformed his other baits. So, if he's being honest anyway. And at first, when he told me that before I got that big fish on bluegill. And I thought, well, he's just BSing me, you know, because he wants to beat me so bad. He's way behind in our Angler of the Year point race right now. I'm sticking it to him. And he's desperate. He's trying to do anything to catch back up, you know. So I thought he's just BSing me. You know, there ain't no way. But I seen it with my own eyes. Or I saw it with my own eyes. I seen and I saw. Grammar mistakes drive me crazy, but I always mess up my seen and my saw. And my girlfriend gets on me about that all the time. So, but hey, we got us a crappie. Here in Tennessee, crappie has to be 10 inches. If it is 10 inches, and it's called on rod and reel, as we just watched it raw and uncut right here happen, then it is a legal bait. Sport fish or not, it is legal to use. So if that crappie stays alive for the next few days, y'all will see it. And that's probably the tournament video for regular viewers is probably going to be the next video, because I'm filming this on a Wednesday. Tomorrow is supposed to storm all day, Thursday. Friday, I'm gonna have to go try to load up on bait because I want fresh a bait possible for this tournament, and then Saturday's tournament day, so it'll probably be the next video. So you might see that crappie again as we got something else hit us right here. Boy, we've got a bunch of fish so far. We've only had that really one decent bluegill and the crappie now as far as size go. But man, we're getting a bunch of action today. Come here, bluegill. I'm gonna get rid of you now. I'm gonna throw back over there now. I woke up today wanting to catch me a bunch of fish. I didn't have any more catfish bait. I threw out, when I went down there in Nickajack, I threw out what I had left. So I didn't have enough for just another trip without restocking. And so I was like, yeah, I know my regular viewers, I told you, I was like, the next trip's gonna be a catfish trip, but I've lied to you. And most of you watching are men, and I try not to lie to men. I'll try to only lie to women. That's kind of my rule in life. But I've lied to you this time. It wasn't my intention. I had ever hope of getting a catfish video, but I just didn't feel like y'all wanted to watch a 4-hour video with 3 fish, 2 of which were at the very end. This bluegill said he didn't want to watch it either. He didn't want to be on this video, is what this bluegill told me. Get out of here, bluegill. I don't want to hear another word out of you. Bluegill didn't have nothing good to say. Yeah, we're catching a lot of fish right here. This technique this time of year, just beating the banks, throwing at trees and docks and round bridges and rock piles, any riprap, depending on where you're fishing at and stuff. Like, you can catch a bunch of fish doing this. And as I've said 5 million times, they're all fun on the ultralight. Just the size of the fish on this tackle, it's fun. It ain't about the size of the fish so much as the size of your tackle. You can have fun with any fish if your tackle is matched to it appropriately. You come out here with a rod designed to catch bass, and you're pulling in a 5-inch bluegill. Well, the bluegill's not even going to be in the rod. It's not, because it's too heavy. It's too heavy for it. But you get the rod and your line and your gear matched appropriately, and that 5-inch bluegill can, oh, right down there, there's fish busting, y'all. There's fish busting. Was that some skippies? I told you to keep your eye out there. Well, how'd I see that before y'all did? There's something right here too. Will y'all humor me a minute? As I'm just curious on the skipjack. Can we make one little lap here with my other rods? I know a lot of you don't like the trolling portion. Like when I troll for skipjack and stuff, it's a lot of you don't like. Some of you do, some of you don't. Just humor me, would you? Just for a little while. Fast forward if you don't like it. We'll be back to throwing the gulp here in just a few minutes. But I saw those fish. I just want to make a lap. Just a quick down and back. We'll just go this few hundred yards if I can get my line undone here. I'd like to hit it right here before the sun. The sun's just popping up through them trees right there. And oftentimes that'll kill a bite in the summer. Why is this thing all wrapped around? Every time I talk on camera, I got some kind of line malfunction. But sometimes in the summer, you'll have a bite going until the tree or the sun peeks up over the trees. And once it hits the water, those fish move a little deeper and it'll kill your bite. And so I just want to see what's going on out here. Again, that was my real motivation for fishing this spot today, was just to kind of look around, see if there was some skips. I do think bluegill is going to be my primary bait come tournament day, but obviously I want to have some skips. That'd be crazy to go down there with no skipjack. So I'm not going to keep any of these skipjack today because they'd be too old. They'd be older than what I want to use for a tournament day. My gosh, we got something. Did I imagine that? Something hitting them. Yeah, by gosh, we got one right here. I just cast this out. Let's see what this is. Skipjack. I thought they'd be here, y'all. I thought they would, man. I thought they would. I just got this thing cast out and got on the move. I thought there was a chance. I told you they're in transition. It's your lucky day, Skipjack. I don't need you today, but I do need you. I need to catch you on Friday, Skipjack. Will you be here then? Will you wait for me? All right, man. You want to just catch a few more? Let's just make a cast or two out here. Duties and giggles, you know. Duties and giggles, y'all. That one there was skinny. You can tell they're spawned out. Yeah, let's just throw this behind us. We'll get back on the move just for a little while. Let's just go. Let's kind of see how many's here. Let's just, because that sun's gonna pop up over them trees. Let's just go for a little troll, just 100 yards, 200 yards down and back, and we'll get back on the Gulp. But now we know there's some skipjack here, y'all. I'm telling you, man, follow them skipjack. They move upriver in the spring, and they come down. They'll get right here in front of this creek, out here in the main channel, you know. They're out here, we're seeing them out here in open water. They'll be here a couple weeks, a month. You go down the next major creek, they'll be there for a little while. They just keep making their way down. Some of them will stay here. You'll catch, I mean, there'll be skipjack caught here, you know, through the rest of the year. Some of them will stay, but the rest of the school will make their way down to the next creek. And then some of them will stay at that creek and the bulk of the school move on. Here goes another rod down. It's fun, man. But, you know, like this, people that's trying to catch skipjack, a lot of catfishermen around here, if they can't catch them at the dams, they can't catch them. You know, that's the only place they know how to get them. And in reality, these skipjack are all over, but you just don't oftentimes see them. They'll be 3 feet deep over 70 feet of water out here in the summer months. But let's see how skinny he is, or she is. He, she, I don't know how to tell them apart, but I mean, just spawned out, man, super skinny. But nobody will be fishing for them out in the main channel over 70 feet of water because nobody knows they're there unless you actively see them. Unless you actively see them busting like we're seeing. I saw that one school, it caught my eye. Y'all was supposed to be watching for it and you wasn't paying attention. Y'all was, I don't know what you was looking at, probably something on your phone. People can't go fishing anymore without busting out their telephone. But I saw it and I was like, I bet that's skips, and then here we are, just hardly covered any water right here and got two. I'm just, you know, as far as trolling speed, it don't matter. 2 to 3 miles an hour. I'm in my pedal kayak today, so we don't have the graph set up, no way of knowing our exact speed. But throwing these 1/8 ounce jig heads with the crappie magnets behind us, trolling along here somewhere between 2.5 miles an hour. You know, a casual pedaling speed's gonna be in that 2 to 3 mile an hour range. It's a perfect trolling speed, not only for skipjack, but for a variety of species. You catch a lot of white bass, largemouth, smallmouth, catch a lot of fish through the year doing this technique. I catch more bass if I'm trolling a spoon versus jigs. If I'm targeting skipjack specifically, the jigs are gonna catch more than the spoon. You'll catch some skipjack on the spoon too, but you catch more bass on there, on the spoon. Yeah, we'll just troll just around here. Just a little lap. Take a lap. I won't catch too many through here just because I don't need them today, but it's good to know where I can come back on Friday and bust a few first thing. I'll hit this spot first thing on Friday, get some skipjack. Then I'll go hit another area and hopefully get some better quality bluegill, which I'll try to keep. I'll keep some for the cooler and I'll try to keep some alive. That way we'll have options. Even if I end up using them as cut bait for the tournament, they'll be cut right before I use them. So they'll be super fresh. If I'm going to use bluegill, I want them to be super fresh. I don't want them sitting on ice for 2 or 3 days. You know, I need them super fresh. So yeah, that's going to be the plan for Friday. But yeah, man, a lot of catfishermen, if skipjack ain't biting at the dam, they got no chance of catching them. That's like the only place they know how to get them. But if you just follow them, if you follow the threadfin shad, you will stay on the skipjack. And these threadfin shad, fall, winter, early spring, where's the shad at? They're in the creeks usually. Summer months, and I don't know why this is, but you'll see these huge schools of shad out in the middle of the damn lake and the river. And so when they're out there, when you see them big schools of shad roaming around out in open water, the skipjack gonna be there too. Now you may not see them busting, you may not see them breaking the surface, but that don't mean they're not there. And so you get out here and you troll around and you find them. Now I think that's where a lot of people maybe struggle with that, because a lot of people just don't troll. Trolling's frowned upon in fishing for some reason. I don't understand why. It's a very effective technique and it's a lot of fun to catch fish this way. But a lot of people don't want to do it. And so if you just come out here and was just making casts out here in open water at random, good luck. You know, you might stumble into a fish, but you're going to waste a lot of time if you don't actively see fish and know exactly where they're at. But trolling, if you're trolling at 2.5 miles an hour and you got multiple lines out, well, in an hour's time, you've covered 2.5 miles. So if you get out on a place like this, you take an open river channel like this, and you just kind of zigzag in and around, you can cover a lot of water. And once you kind of figure out a place where they're at, you can then circle back and kind of key in on it. And if they're real thick, well then obviously make you some casts. But usually in the summer months, I don't find them super concentrated usually. Trolling to me is a better technique because you're getting fish that are kind of roaming around. It seems like the skipjack schools, it's more, not so much a large school of skipjack that'll be out here, but it'll be smaller packs of skipjack. Like when you do see them busting, you don't see like a huge area of water erupting. You might see like 6 or 8 skipjack busting over here, and then another school over here of 6 to 8 busting, and some more up here. Like it's not just one giant school. They're in these like little roaming packs. And so it's hard if you just go try to chase them down. Like you see a school of them over here, 6, 8 skipjack in it. You run over there, you make you some casts, maybe you catch one, maybe you don't. They're gone. And then you're constantly just trying to chase them down. Like that's an ineffective use of your time. If you're just trolling, you can run into these schools and you might pick off one here and then you get up here, well you hit the next school and you get one there, and it's just, that's my philosophy on it. I think trolling's more effective, especially certain times of year, summertime being one of them. Time of day also very important. Summertime, before dawn, right at dawn, that's going to be, and before sunset to just after sunset, that's your activity window for the skipjack. I think they're still there once the sun comes up, but I think they go deeper and they get a little tougher to hit. I've seen that so many times in the summer months. Like I'll be on a bite first thing in the morning, and then that sun will be like it is right now. It'll get up just over the tree line, and then boom, bite's over. It's done. And so it's best to get out on the water early, or plan your trips in the evenings to right before sunset to right after, and you can kind of do the same thing. If you have an area, here's another tip for you too. I'm giving away some good stuff here today, folks. Write this stuff down. Summer months. If you have an area that has a big lot, you take like a park, for instance. One of the places I get skipjack at in the summer months is a main channel area. There's a public park and they have street lights. And those fish will be out there feeding at night around those lights, but mostly on the edges of the lights. So if you get out on the water, sometimes like in the summer months, I like fishing dawn. I like fishing the morning hours, right? Well, I'll go out there, instead of getting on the water 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'll go out there 4:30. I'll work the edges of the light where them street lights, they expand into the water. I'll get on them edges, I'll catch my bait right there. I heard some splashing behind me. I'll catch my bait right there 4:30 in the morning before it was still dark, and then be set up and catfishing right there at dawn. I've done that a lot too. So if you've got places like that, and I'm sure your wheels are turning right now, places you know of that's kind of public parks, boat ramps, whatever, that in the main channel, maybe they got a big street light, multiple street lights, you'll probably have some skipjack out there around them lights. And there'll be some there at night. Yeah, we're just gonna troll back over here to this tree where we were left off at with the ultralight. If we get any more skipjack, great. If not, at least we know. The sun's up now, so I don't think that bite's gonna tail off. But now we know where I can come back and get some on Friday. They're gonna be skinny. They're spawned out, man. They're making their way back down river, and they're gonna be feeding up. But if you can find them threadfin shad, you're gonna have skipjack nearby. And you need to match your baits to the size of the threadfin. If there has been a spawn, here's another golden nugget for you, folks. Write this down. This is prime knowledge. It took me a long time to figure out. Skipjack feed. The most important characteristic in a bait for skipjack is the size. That's way more important than color, profile. It's just the size, because when them shad, when they spawn, and you'll see these little, they're like almost glass. You can almost see through them. They're so small and so thin, just tiny, tiny shad fry. When the skipjack are keyed in on those, if you're throwing a larger bait, like today I'm using the crappie magnets, they're like 1.5 inches, 2 inches long, I think. The skipjack ain't gonna touch them. When they're keyed in on them tiny shad fry, you've gotta use something that mimics that. So what I'll use, first off, I'll downsize my jig head, because the 1/8 ounce jig heads that I'm using now, they're great for casting, but the size of the head alone is bigger than those tiny shad fry, right? So can't use those. So I got to use a smaller jig head, smaller hook, and I'll put a trout magnet on. Now trout magnet, they're like 1 inch long baits, real skinny plastic. I'll put those on, and I'll go back to catching the skipjack again. They won't touch the bigger baits. You'll see skipjack, I've seen them busting everywhere, throwing the larger baits, and you're like, man, why the hell? I'm seeing them, I'm literally seeing them. I can't get them to bite. It's because of the size. And once I figured that out, I started catching them again. So there's you some knowledge. It took me a long time to figure out. It took me, I know for some of you that's probably just common sense. For me, for whatever reason, man, it took me a long time to learn that, to figure it out. All right, let's reel these things in. Thank y'all for coming with me and humoring me on that. A lot of you don't like the trolling. A lot of you don't like the sound of braid as I reel it in and reel in fish and stuff. I get a lot of complaints about that, but we out here to go fishing today, folks, and part of this trip for me, yes, I want to catch a bunch of fish on the Ultralight, but this is a reconnaissance mission too, by gosh. We're out here gathering some intel, and now we've gathered it. Here's a better look though as I get this thing untangled of the baits that we're using today. So 1/8 ounce jig heads, crappie magnet. These are white and chartreuse. I got 2 of them tied on. That's 15-pound fluorocarbon on a leader with a little sabiki knot there. It goes up to 30-pound braided line. And this is just bass tackle. Shimano rod here, medium heavy action. So, you know, pretty basic, pretty simple tackle, but very effective for skipjack. So let's put these rods up. Mission accomplished. Now, let's get over here and see if we can get back to some bluegill. Now, here's the unfortunate thing for y'all. The people who watch my videos just to steal spots are going to be out of luck, because I'm a few videos ahead. Rarely happens anymore, but I've been on a good run lately. I was on a real good catfish bite. Been catching some carp, doing some ultralight fishing. We've had some good enough weather that I've been able to go fairly consistently. So I'm a few videos ahead. By the time this video comes out, and the people who steal spots see, oh, Justin's catching skipjack right here, and they look at the background and stuff and know exactly where I'm at. By the time they get here, skipjack probably gone. So you spot stealers out there, sorry about your luck. Go to the next creek down. When you see this video, you probably need to go to the next creek down. That's probably where they'll be then. You might even see me there. That makes me excited though. I'll come out here, get me some skinny, spawned out skipjack Friday morning. Then I'll run over to Melton Hill Dam and get some bluegill. I was getting some better quality bluegill there at Melton Hill Dam. I'll keep some of those alive. I'll get some for the cooler. Friday night we got the open house at Catfish Sumo, our pre-tournament check-in, meet-up and all that. Daniel's having an open house again since the tournament's on Nickajack there. It's in Chattanooga. It's right there close to Catfish Sumo headquarters. So Daniel had an open house last month there at Chickamauga, and then doing one this month at Nickajack tournament. Because these are the last 2 Tennessee tournaments on the trail this year. We'll do that and then go out there and hopefully get lucky on tournament day. You got to get a little bit lucky when you're fishing in the spawn. A lot of them fish being on the nest and stuff, you need we're going to need a big flathead, which is going to require a little luck, or we're going to need a big female blue, which possible. Anything's possible. You got a line in the water, it could be your day. Any time of year, weather conditions, water conditions, don't matter. You got a bait in the water, you got a chance, man. But we will need to get a little bit lucky. And I'm fortunate in that I've always been a pretty lucky person in life. Good things just happen to me. I hit the lottery the day I was born, really, with the parents I have. And good things just seem to happen to me. I had a good childhood. I was raised upright. I've caught some breaks in life. So I kind of hit the lottery as a human being. I've never hit the lottery financially. Never had, didn't come from money or anything like that. But just in the game of life, I've been very fortunate. So we'll see. I may get lucky again on tournament day. Somebody's going to win it. Might as well be me, right? If you're interested in these tournaments, as far as following along, our leaderboards are live. Now, you're obviously seeing this video after the tournament's already over, right? Because again, I'm a few videos ahead right now, so that's why I don't really mind talking tournament strategy with you, because by the time this comes out, the people I'm competing against, if any of them watch this, oh, there's a fish, he's swimming with it. I never felt him, I saw my line swimming. By the time this video comes out, tournament's over, so any strategy I give, it's not going to negatively impact me. Old bluegill. But if you're interested in following along with our live leaderboards for any future tournaments, what I do is a day or two before the tournament, I will make a post on my YouTube community tab, and I'll put the link for the live leaderboard with the tournament hours on there. So if you're bored, or maybe you're just interested and you want to follow along, you can click on that link. There's something getting busted up there at the shoreline. But you can click on that link and see where I'm at in the tournament. You know, how things are going out there. Because we turn our fish in on the Fishing Chaos app, and as soon as we submit them, it goes to that live leaderboard. So people watching at home can see whoever's in the tournament, how they're doing on a given day, and us people in the tournament can also, as we reel in another fish, we can see in real time our competition and how they're doing, which can be a blessing and a curse. When you're doing well, it's nice to see, like, hey, you know, I'm doing good today, buddy. I'm dominating. I'm in the lead. Other times, when you're struggling to catch fish and everybody else is posting fish, it can be a little bit of a kick to the gonads. That's how I was at the last tournament there with on the Ohio River in Owensboro, Kentucky. I hate the Ohio River. I absolutely hate it. If I never fished the Ohio River again, I wouldn't. I've been up there twice, and both times I've caught fish both times I've been up there, but I ain't had much fun either time. And I just wouldn't care if I ever went back. But I was up there for that tournament, and I didn't get my first fish on the board until like 12:30, I think it was. But meanwhile, I'm keeping an eye on that scoreboard, you know, and I'm seeing everybody else posting fish, and I'm like, oh hell, I suck today. You know? So it makes it worse when you're not doing good, having access to that live leaderboard. But I think it's good for people that want to follow along at home and stuff, and maybe can't be there, can't fish the tournament, whatever. So I post that link on the community tab there on YouTube. And so I usually post it a day or two before the tournament. And then if we're doing any kind of meetup, I usually make a post about that too. Like this Catfish Sumo open house, I'd posted about it, which again, it's over by the time you see this, but I'd made a post about it, just letting people know for anybody that wants to show up. We always have a good time at those things, sit around and shoot the bull. Daniel's having somebody catering barbecue in this time. So anybody that show up, get a free meal and hang out and tell stories and all that good stuff. Plus we do our pre-tournament board check and get our identifiers and all that too for the tournament. So it's kind of a one-stop do-it-all type thing. We'll hit that tournament though there for Nick and Jack, and then I gotta start focusing on Ohio after that, because we got 2 tournaments in Ohio afterwards, and so this is a better bluegill right here now. Well, he ain't as good as I thought. He fought big. This fish here is as round as he is long. You're a very round fish. The fish says it's no problem. Lululemon can make you fit in anything these days. You walk through Walmart right now, Lululemon can pack 20 pounds of fat in a 5-pound sack. That's what that fish told me. That ain't me saying that, that's what that fish said. Don't cancel me, by gosh. I didn't say it, the fish did, y'all heard him. You know it's true though. Lululemon spandex, buddy, they're packing it all in. I've seen it with my own eyes. Girls that shouldn't be wearing those spandex, they're fitting it in there. Anytime you go out in public, I'm gonna see some today because I gotta go grocery store after this. You don't see as many of them in the Aldi as you do in places like Walmart or especially Target. That's what fancy people call Target. I don't like Target all that much, but sometimes I am forced to go there with the girlfriend if she needs something. And it's like a bougie version of Walmart, but there's a lot of Lululemon in there walking around. A lot of it don't need to be wearing Lululemon. Overall, the quality of what you look at in Target is better than what you look at in Walmart. That's a fact. But a lot of it still just shouldn't be. You know, it just shouldn't be. It shouldn't be in it. I'll just leave it at that. You know, me, I don't really have the body type to be wearing like wife beater tank tops and stuff. So I don't wear wife beater tank tops, right? Because I don't have the body for it. I realize that, I accept that, and that's just the way it is. The people of Walmart and Target, they're not as accepting of what they can and can't wear as others. Everything's pretty much fair game. If they can stuff it in that spandex, it's getting stuffed in there, like it's happening. How the hell did we get on to the topic of, there's one. I'm glad this fish hit, because I don't know how the hell we got on the topic of stuffing fat women into spandex. How do we get on that topic there, fish? He don't know either. He said he's seen it too. It happens at the bluegill Walmart also. I'm gonna have to get the pliers on that fish. Your mouth is so small, I can't get my fingers on that jig head to get it out there. Well, come on now, give it back. There you go. Get out of here, bluegill. Didn't want to give me that jig head back, did he? Speaking of jig heads, are we still using the same one that we started with today? Have I not had to retie yet? I feel like my last ultralight trip, I was having to retie every 5 minutes. I just kept getting snagged. Today, I guess the fish are hitting it before we can get down into these trees and stuff. That's a good problem to have, ain't it? Some days it's like that, man. You just go out and you get out of one snag and you're immediately in another. I was pretty frustrated there on the last trip. I'd lost so many jigs, I was tired of retying. It was raining that day a little bit anyway. Had more rain coming. I was like, I think I'm just gonna go to the house. So far, so good today. I may have jinxed it when I started talking about it, but hopefully we're gonna be good. We're gonna just take a stretch down through here. You can see where we're gonna be fishing. Just work our way down through here. With the way the sun is coming up on the other side of the trees over here, we should be shaded for a good while today. So it's gonna be miserable hot, but we're gonna be good over here in the shade for this morning. Fish a few hours, go get my peopling done there at the grocery store. It'll take a lot out of me, but get that done, restock on some steaks and some of them little donuts that Aldi sells. Get that done. I don't know if I mentioned or not, I gotta get my windshield replaced too. I got hit with a rock the other day, and I saw it when I got, obviously I'm driving, I hear the pop where that rock hit me. And it was just a little tiny place in the corner of my windshield. And so I was gonna go, when I got home that day, I was doing some stuff at the house, and I was gonna get out that afternoon and take Daphne over to the park before sunset, and I was going to just go by the store and get some of that filler, the windshield filler stuff, whatever, that you put on there to fill in them little places before they get bad. And I'll be damned, when I went out there to get in the car that afternoon, that little tiny spot had spread, and now I've got a crack going all the way across my windshield. I was like, well, so much for that. I'll just have to get a windshield replacement now. So I feel like every one of these raw and uncut videos, I end up going on some rant about something that's wrong with the world, but here we go again. I guess this must be what I think about and talk about all the time in real life. I try to be a positive person. I have to be cognitively aware that I'm trying to be positive, because my natural nature is to be a bit of a pessimist. So I have to mentally try to fight that to be positive. And I try to be positive, but the world just brings out the negative in me. And so here we go again. I'm convinced, because this ain't my first windshield, okay? I've went through several windshields through the years. I got my first, so right now I'm driving a 2020 Honda Fit. And I love that car. It's a great car. I had another one. I had a 2011 model. I got in 2011. And I drove it until 2022 when I hit Bambi and destroyed it. So then I got another one. I got a 2020 model, and I've had it now for the last couple of years, been driving. So between the two Honda Fits that I have had, I've had them now from 2011 to 2024, 13 years I've been driving a Honda Fit. I have gone through, that's a fish. Is it? I think I have a fish in a snag over there. I thought I was snagged, and then it pulled back a little, and now I'm snagged, and I don't feel the fish. Put the rant on pause a minute while we sort this mess out. I gotta get myself spun where we can get over here and get this at a better angle, see what we've got going on. We may have a snag and a fish. Anybody can catch a fish, anybody can catch a snag, but can you catch them both at the same time? That's the difference in professional and amateur, folks. I've apparently only got a snag now, and I'm not sure we're getting it back. Dadgummit. Now I got my rods in the trees behind me here too. Oh man. I was just talking about how we ain't lost the jig head, and here we go. Y'all done got snagged up. Let's see if we can get out of this mess behind us. Oh Lord, there's spiders up here too. Goodness gracious. Have I got, boy, we're in a mess right here, y'all. We're in a mess. Let's do something with that rod. We've got spiders all over out here. Golly bum. How'd y'all get in this mess, man? I can't take y'all nowhere. Hell, I got fishing line I'm hung in now too. What is this mess? Golly bum. I don't even know. What is this mess? I've got fishing line behind me. I guess it's from hanging out of a tree or something over here. Golly bum, somebody's lost. This is about 40-pound line here. Somebody's hung in this tree. Let's cut some mess here. I don't even know. Let's get this. Somehow or another, we got hung in the tree. We got hung in fishing line. We're still hung in the tree with the rod. I have went above and beyond to try to save a nickel, a jig head that cost a nickel. Now I've got my crappie magnet in my arm. Y'all, this is a damn mess. How did you all do this? Lord almighty. This is why I shouldn't be doing unedited videos right here. I can't figure out what the hell I'm hung in on this thing. There we go. Okay. I shouldn't be doing unedited videos for this reason right here. I can't. Goodness gracious. There's spiders all up in this tree too. We're probably gonna have a spider on us. Now somebody had a damn 30-pound line right there. We just got it in our prop. Are you kidding me? How the hell did we get this line in our prop? Look at this mess. Now we're going back into the tree here. This is a mess, y'all. Golly, we got to cut some line here. Somehow somebody's lost 30 yards of their damn 30-pound. What the hell are they throwing 30-pound? How big a line do you need to be bass fishing down through here? That's all them people do down through here is bass fish. Got it all over our prop. Oh man, it is all up in that too, buddy. Boy, we're unedited, folks. Y'all see it all, man. The only thing you're not seeing right now that would be different if I was out here by myself, not with the camera going, was I would be cussing non-stop right now. Let's just take the damn prop off. I'll use this floating prop nut here from Navarre Kayak Fishing, and let you take your prop off a little easier. Look at that mess. Golly bum. Throw that behind us there in the rear crate. Oh, I've got more line on there too. This is... Let me turn it like that so we don't lose our shear pin out of there. I got more shear pins in the hatch, but still I don't want to lose that one. You pick up line all the time on your damn prop, you know what I mean? Like there's so much fishing line out there that you just run over and don't even know. That one there hanging off the tree, I don't know how the hell we got into that mess. This is a thinner line here. What do you think? We think we about got most of it there. Yeah, y'all, you come with me. Unedited, raw and uncut. Y'all my fishing buddies. We in a damn mess out here. I should have never went over there trying to get that jig head. I tried to save a nickel getting that jig head back and cost us a bunch of time here. Okay. Let's put this back on. Let's that go. There we go. Lordy days, folks. Let's not do that again today, okay? Let's not do that again. Yeah, this prop nut, though, that Navarre Kayak Fishing sells, boy, it's a big help when something like that does happen. I ain't trying to sell you nothing on here. God almighty, I'm in this damn tree again. How in the heck? Let's get out of this tree, y'all. Boy, I'd love to unleash about 45 seconds of straight cuss words after that. Yeah, whatever that damn line is, it's about a 50-pound line. God, now I got something crawling on me. Hey, let's not do that. Let's not do that again today, all right? We out of it now. We got to retie a jig head on here, but what a mess y'all got in there. I told you not to cast over there to begin with. Lord. All right, let's get us another jig head on and get back in the game. We're due some good fortune. Here I was going on about, and we hadn't lost a jig or nothing, and we're on a good run, and then boy, when the doo-doo hit the fan, it hit it hard. Let's see if I can see now I need my reading glasses, y'all. It's weird how some days are better than others. Ain't no day, I can't hardly see them jig head eyes at all anymore, but some days are better than others. What was I talking about before all that mess happened? And first off, does that happen to y'all? Am I the only one that finds myself in these kind of messes? I mean, I'm technically, I guess, supposed to be a professional YouTuber and all. Like, people say, well, Justin, you're a professional fisherman. I don't feel like it. When I'm hung in a tree, and then get my other rod hung in a tree, and then get a line wrapped around my prop while I'm trying to get my other two rods free, like, I don't feel like I'm very professional. Like, I don't feel like I know what the heck I'm doing. That's going on. So I hope it happens to y'all. I ain't trying to wish bad on you, but I sure as hell hope it ain't just me that this kind of stuff happens to. Let's get us another jig head on. I was talking about windshields, because mine's busted. So I got this Honda Fit car, and I have had a Honda Fit. Let me do that again. Let me run that farther back. But between the two that I've had them now for 13 years. Great cars, both of them. You know, minimal. Obviously, you got to do maintenance stuff. But no real major problems out of either one of them. Great cars. But one issue that I have had is I've went through several windshields now. And obviously, being in a small car, I'm going to be more prone to take rocks to the windshield, most likely, right? I mean, if you're in a big truck or an SUV, you're setting up higher. So rocks that may hit my windshield, probably just hitting your grill or your hood and bouncing up and over. those rocks I'm taking directly to the glass. But it seems like I probably average a windshield once every 2 or 3 years. Like I've been through a few where they get hit with a rock and then the whole windshield ends up needing to be replaced. How the hell is it in 2024 we don't have a windshield that can handle a pebble? Like, I have an iPhone, right? My iPhone is naked. I don't use any case, any cover, nothing. Never have. It's just, as it comes out the box, naked. I've dropped that thing on concrete, asphalt, here's a fish. I've dropped it on my hardwood floors at the house. It ain't got a scratch on it. The glass survives me dropping it. But yet we can't have a windshield that can take a small pebble in 2024. Like, I don't understand this fish right here. He don't understand it either. He's ate that jig deep. Fish, why'd you do that? Do you not understand we just had to retie just a second ago? You're literally the first fish since we retied. There we go, we got it. He gone too. He tried to fin me on the way out. I don't know if that will make it or not. He got it kind of deep. He may be turtle food for one of them down there. But it's 2024. Can we not get some windshield glass that can handle a pebble? Like, I just don't understand it. And these windshield companies, and this is why I think this is a racket. These windshield companies, have you ever noticed that the price of a windshield is just under the price of your insurance deductible? Everything else in the entire world has went up in price in the last few years. Inflation's been running rampant. You go to the grocery store, you're paying way more money now for groceries than what we paid last year, and especially 3-4 years ago. But yet windshields come in just under $500 every time. My car insurance deductible, $500. You can rest assured a windshield's gonna be $400 and something, just under it. It's been like that every time I've had a windshield replaced. Now, either the price of glass ain't never gone up, which I find hard to believe, or the fix is in. It's a racket. I think they're making these windshields purposely to break so that they could sell them at a huge markup. They've probably been, my guess is the cost of a windshield was probably about $50, $100 to begin with, and they were charging $450, $475 to keep it under that $500 deductible all along. And as prices has gone up, inflation and all, their profit margins has probably gone down, but they're keeping the price the same because they're still turning a handsome profit. So either way, I got a crack going all the way across my windshield, so they're gonna have to come to my house. Here's a spider on my foot. I knew we was gonna have some spiders in here after being in that tree. I had a friend that was terrified of spiders, and ironically, he worked at a windshield manufacturing plant. I've fallen out of touch with him. I should give him a call. It would require me having a conversation, but I could probably get the scoop for real on how these windshield companies operate, because he worked for one. I'm pretty sure he worked for the CIA too. But he worked for a windshield manufacturing company. I haven't talked to him in several years. He's actually on some videos on my channel. I had fished with him years ago, but I've fallen out of touch with him. I ain't talked to him 2 or 3 years probably. I'm convinced he was in the CIA though. Have you ever had a friend like that? a friend, a coworker, an acquaintance that you just know they're living a double life? Fish. Like my friend Travis there, this guy, that's a fat bluegill. He ain't got much color to him, but he's a fat thing. You were a good time, bluegill, but I'm on to the next one. My friend Travis, though, he's working this job, car windshield manufacturing, whatever. And they would send him overseas to like China and Japan and stuff periodically. And you think, well, okay, they're making car windshields for Honda, Toyota, whatever. It makes sense that he would be sent over there overseas, right? But then his behavior, like, and I guess some people are just like this, but he was one of those people. We would have plans. Say we fished today. We would be out on the water and we would be talking about fishing tomorrow. And we would have plans like, yeah, okay, we're meeting at such and such launch at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we finished fishing here today. We reconfirm those plans. Like, yeah, I'll see you in the morning there at such and such launch, 6 o'clock. Okay, yeah, man, I'll see you then. Have a good night. You show up the next day at that launch at 6 a.m. like you just talked about the day before when you set the plans, and he won't be there. And, 6:15, 6:30, you're calling because you're like, well, hell, is he still coming? Did he wreck his car? Is he dead on the side of the road? Like, what's that? He won't pick up. No answer. No text message, won't respond to anything, no social media posts, like he just disappears off the face of the earth for a month or so. And then all of a sudden he'll reappear. And you go fishing with him the next time and you're like, so Travis, the last time we were supposed to fish, we had plans. You didn't show up. I called, thought you were dead on the side of the road. You didn't answer. You didn't respond to texts. Didn't hear from me for a month, and now here you are. Like, what's up? He's like, oh, we was gonna fish? Oh, I must have missed your call. Well, I got this other work phone. Maybe I've been having problems with it. I mean, there was always an excuse. He never got the calls, messages. Just didn't know we were going to fish. I mean, it was like. And then the subject would get changed. Like he wouldn't elaborate on it. And so I got it in my mind. I was convinced, and I'm still convinced, like he's a double agent. He's a James Bond. He's living one life here. And then his secret bat phone rings and he has to go be CIA agent or something. And he'll go under the cover of this company he works for, sending him to China or Japan or wherever. But really, he's who knows where. We got another fish. Oh, it popped off. He could be anywhere in the world. And then he comes back home and reappears, normal life. He's got to live his normal life, be undercover. And somebody like me, when we had fishing plans and he just had to abruptly go save the world, couldn't show up, he just plays it off like it's cool. Yeah, don't know what you're talking about. Never happened. Never got your call. Never got your text. Didn't know we were going to meet up there. Like, really? So I'm convinced he's a CIA agent, like double agent and stuff. I ain't talked to him in years. We kind of fell out of touch. It was one of them things. I think we had plans to go fishing or something, and he never showed up, never called. And I think we just, somehow we fell out of touch after that. You ever had a friend like that bluegill? You ever known another bluegill that's like a secret agent down there? That bluegill, he don't know anybody. That bluegill, he said nobody returns his calls either. Yeah, I can't tell you. And it wasn't like it just happened one time. Like it was multiple times. I'd be I'd be sitting at a boat ramp waiting on him to show up. 30 minutes go by, you know, and I'm like, he ain't called, don't answer, like he's dead, you know. He's had a wreck and died. 2 weeks later, he'd reappear. Like, what the hell? Yeah, I'd be curious if any of y'all out there ever had a friend or coworker, acquaintance, family member, something like that. We're hung again. Do we dare go over here and try to get it? I think this one over here is probably in these rocks. That tree up there is higher up. Maybe we won't get it hung in our rod behind us. Oh, there's a tree sticking over here. That's what we're hung in. There it comes. We got it. Let's see if we can. Boy, we got lucky there. We was backing up before we hit that tree with our rod. Look at that squirrel right there. He's acting out trying to get on this video. That squirrel, Daphne better not see that squirrel. Daphne's my little squirrel catcher now. I told that story how she got one the other day. Felt bad for that squirrel, but I wouldn't feel bad for that one right there. It's trying to hijack this video. But yeah, Travis, man, I ain't trying to blow his cover on this video, but I'm convinced he's CIA agent. CIA, NSA, FBI, like he's one of them 3-letter agents. I know he is. That's the only way, that's the only explanation for his behavior. Just completely disappear. 2 weeks, a month, and then reappear like nothing ever happened. Well, that fish hit as I was going to reel it in. Bluegill. Come on down, you bluegill. This water through here is kind of dingy. That bluegill ain't got no problem seeing it. He come up and snatched it as I was reeling it in. We're getting a lot of action through here. I don't know how many fish we've caught, but I mean, it's been a bunch. Quality's not really been there other than that. Well, I mean, even the crappie we got wasn't a huge crappie or anything, but I mean, the biggest fish we've got so far is the crappie. Maybe the skipjack. But I mean, the action though, has been a ton of action through here. I mean, I feel like we're getting bit just every few casts. I like it when it's like this. When I come ultralight fishing, like I'm wanting action, you know, I'm wanting to catch a bunch of fish. I can set out on the water catfishing for long periods of time without getting bit. Obviously, I want to get bit quickly and often, especially if I'm doing an unedited video. Obviously, I want to get bit quickly, but when I'm not, I can still set out there for long periods of time without bites because I know that big bite's coming. But when I'm ultralight fishing, I want action just continuously. You know, I don't want to go long periods of time without a bite. Look at that squirrel over there. He's gone a long period of time without a nut. He's down there on the water. I'd like to see a fish jump up and snatch him. It won't hit me right then, squirrel. I was watching the squirrel. No, something splashed right there beside us. Do you see that? I don't know what that was. We've got all kinds of distractions going on. The squirrel, the fish jumping beside us. They're all trying to distract us from the truth, which is my old friend Travis is a CIA agent. Everything's trying to take away from that fact. But we know it's true. I bet you, though, there's probably more secret agents among us than we realize. Like, I bet you everybody, all y'all out there watching right now, because these government agencies are so big, there's so many people, I bet you we all know a CIA operative, a secret agent. Like, we all probably know one. We don't know we know one, but we probably have one in our lives somewhere. A friend, an acquaintance, a coworker, a fellow student if you're in college or something, you know, like I'm sure, because, you know, they say there's the old 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing, like you can connect any 2 people in the world with 6 steps or less. There's one. He thumped it, buddy. Oh, bluegill thumper. Come up here, bluegill. Oh, it's got some color to him. See, me and this bluegill, we didn't need 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We just needed a fishing pole and a line. Me and that bluegill there is direct contact. But they say, they call it the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, and they say you can connect any 2 people in the world through 6 steps. This person knows this person, whose second cousin's with this person, whose aunt was this person's chauffeur or something, you know. Like, you can connect any 2 people in the world. So I bet you, with that theory in mind, and the fact that these government agencies, CIA, FBI, they're all so big, I bet you most of us have some secret agent around us, like somewhere in our lives that we know, and we just don't know that they're a secret agent. I don't know how you get a secret agent job. Like, I don't think I would be very good at it, which is probably why I've never got the call. Boy, if I got okay. Thought I had a spider in my hat there. But yeah, I don't think I would make it as a secret agent, because I'm too, you know, I'm too white, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like, if I go to a foreign country, I'm going to stand out. You know, if you send me to China and I'm 1.5 feet taller and paler than, you know, every other person in the country, well, it's pretty obvious. Like, I'm gonna stand out like a sore thumb. So I probably won't ever get the call to be a secret agent. But it would be a pretty cool job. I mean, I've watched most of the James Bond movies, and it seems pretty cool. I guess a job like that, you know, you're not going to necessarily apply for it. You'd probably have to be recruited into that. That'd be one of those jobs, you know, they always say, the saying I've always heard, a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. You've heard it, I've heard it. Every time I have a lousy day of fishing on video, somebody will comment that in my comment box. I'm like, that's probably true most of the time, because most people hate their jobs. I certainly hated my job before I started doing this YouTube garbage. But there are some people out there that have a cool job. And I got hit right then. I would think, like, if you're a secret agent and your job is to save the world, if you have a good day at your job and you do save the country or something, like, that's probably going to be better than a bad day of fishing, right? And there's other jobs too, not necessarily like CIA agent type cool. But I mean, there's some other interesting jobs out there that's got to be, that the good days there have to be better than a bad day of fishing, right? It's like you take a candy tester. Like, let's say, I'm sure, who owns M&M's? Is that like Mars? I I think there's a company called Mars. It's popping in my head right now. I think they own M&Ms. Somebody owns M&Ms. Maybe it's Hershey's, I don't know. But either way, M&Ms, large candy company. They sell tons of M&Ms. Somebody has to taste test those. Like, you can mix all the ingredients and make a bunch of M&Ms and stuff. But I mean, periodically, there has to be somebody at the M&M's plant taste testing them, right? Like, you have to make sure they taste okay. Somebody's got to be a taste tester at the M&M's factory. That would be a damn good job. You're clocking into work, and you know what? Like, I'm gonna get paid to go eat M&Ms today. That's a pretty damn good job. So if you have a good day at your job of eating M&Ms all day, is that really not better than a bad day of fishing? I think it probably is. Now again, how do you get that job? Who do you have to know? What kind of education or training do you have to be an M&M's taste tester? How many of them are there? Because think about this, there are gazillions of M&Ms made every day. Is one person going to do all the taste testing for that? If they are, they probably got diabetes. They're probably extremely overweight. I mean, that's a lot of chocolate you're going to have to eat. So there could be a whole team of taste testers. And I don't even know how many M&M factories there are. Like, are all the M&Ms made in one place? Or are there multiple places? They may have teams of taste testers all over the country. I don't know. I have questions, I have no answers. How much does that job pay? Is it a part-time gig, a full-time gig? Like, I don't know. But I would think it would be a pretty good job. And a good day of eating M&Ms is probably better than a bad day out on the water where, you know, I'm gonna throw over here because something keeps splashing. It may just be shad, but we'll make a cast or two. But yeah, you know, what I'm getting at is that old saying that we've heard. I've heard it, you've heard it, I've seen it in my comment box at least 100 times. A bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. I don't think that's true all the time. I don't think you can make a blanket statement like that. I think the people saying that, there needs to be an asterisk next to it. And if you put that comment in a comment box, there needs to be a little asterisk with a link. And you can click on that link and it will bring up a list of jobs. Like, a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. Click on that link and then it'll say, except if you have the following jobs. And it would be like CIA agent, M&M taste tester, male adult film star. You know, like, there's probably a bunch of jobs you can name off the top of your head that where you have a good day, it's gonna be way better than a bad day of fishing. I mean, I promise you, name any male adult film star that gets to hang out with those girls and, you know, do what they do. Like, that's a damn good day at work. You know what I mean? Like, that's better than a day of being snagged in trees all day and breaking fishing poles and flipping your kayak or something. Like, there's some jobs out there that's good jobs. Most of us never have a job like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying is there needs to be an asterisk next to that saying. And if a person typed it in, that asterisk would automatically pop up with a link. And if a person wanted to call BS on it and wanted to see a list of jobs that were in fact better, where a good day was better than a bad day of fishing, then you could click on that and find out. And it would be really helpful if out beside them jobs, you had some more information of how you could actually get those jobs. Because I don't know how you get to be an M&M taste tester. Like, I don't even know how you would apply for a job like that. And I don't even know how we got on this topic. Boy, I went on it for a long time. I bet I lost a gazillion people talking about M&M taste testers and adult film stars. What a life to live, though. You imagine if you had a kid and they bring you in for career day. The M&M taste tester would be all the kids' favorite because he would probably bring in snacks. The adult film star, I don't know. I don't know how you're going to explain that to a group of small children. You know, daddy works, daddy makes videos for a living. Just leave it at that, kids. Lord Almighty. Seems like there was something else I was going to tell y'all, though. I had some other story. Oh, okay. So here's another thing. Now, I wanted two things from y'all today. Obviously, I wanted you to keep your eyes open for skipjack. You failed me on that. I spotted them my damn self. But another thing, I was wanting to get your all's take on this. Because this is a real problem going on throughout the country right now. Every big city has this going on. Oh, that one hit me. But any big city you go to, it don't even have to be like a real big city, but I mean just a larger city than these surrounding towns, if you will. Like I live in a fairly small town. If I go up to Knoxville and I go downtown somewhere, which I try not to ever do, but if you go downtown, and Knoxville's not a huge city, but I mean it's a larger city compared to the surrounding towns. Or you go to Chattanooga, which is a larger city compared to the towns around it. This is going to happen, and it goes on all over the country. You're going to have people come up to you. Some of them are homeless, a lot of them are not. But they're going to ask you for money. I just set the hook right here in a damn tree. Let's see if we can get this out. Go on the other side of it here. At least this time we ain't got nothing else. We can get our rods behind us hung in on this one. I can maybe put some time to trying to get this one free before we break off. There we go. See folks, that's the difference. When I get snagged, I get the jig back. When y'all throw over there, like that one up there at that other tree, I told you it's not to cast in that tree because I told you what was going to happen. That's when we end up with rods behind us hung, with line in our prop. That's when all that stuff happens, is when y'all cast where I tell you not to. When I get snagged like that, we pop it free. We don't lose a jig. We don't miss a beat. But you go to these cities, and if you're outdoors, you know, maybe you got to park in a parking lot and then go walk to eat at a restaurant. Or, you know, you're out at a park. You're going to have people come up to you, some homeless, a lot of them not, and they're going to be hitting you up for money. And they all got a story. Hey, man, I hope you can help me out here. I'm just trying to get a bus ticket. Hey, you know, I lost my wallet, got stolen. Like, you hook me up a few bucks. Or, hey, my car's broke down over here. Like, can you give me like 20 bucks for gas? They've all got a story. Even this fish here I'm reeling in's got a story. But I mean, if you spend enough time walking down the street, outside, in one of these cities, like, you're gonna just have people coming up to you relentlessly, asking you for money. And so, I'm down there. I went down there to Nickajack to fish. And when I finished up, I met up with Daniel, the owner of Catfish Sumo. He don't want me telling the story, by the way. I told him, by God, it's my channel. I'm going to tell a story if I want to. I think he's a little embarrassed by it. But anyway, I finished fishing. I meet up with him. We have some lunch. And after lunch, he had brought some new, I'd met up with him there. Obviously, you know, we're friends, whatnot, when we had lunch, but the purpose of the meeting, of meeting up, was for him to show me some new potential products that he's coming out with there for Catfish Sumo. Just let me take a look at these early prototypes and you know, get my feedback on it there. So we went in this restaurant there in downtown Chattanooga. It was called the, fish, we lost him. It was called the Urban Shack. It was called the Urban something. It's a hamburger place downtown there. Kind of a pain in the ass to get to. There is a paid parking lot there behind it. So for $4, I was able to park my car and kayak. Wasn't the most convenient to get in and out of, but that's where Daniel wanted to go, by gosh. So that's where my GPS took me. So we go in there and we eat. This bluegill don't, look at him, he don't care. This bluegill don't give a crap about anything I'm saying. Well, we go eat, and the restaurant's kind of busy. So we go outside there after we're done eating, to look at these products he's got there. So we get another bluegill. There's some bluegill right over here, by gosh. Make a few more casts, that's 2 in a row. We got a streak going, bluegill. We're streaking here, like Will Ferrell and Old School. We're going streaking, everybody. Let's see if we can keep it going. The current's moving us a little bit. We got a little flow today. Let's see if we can go back up here and throw again. So anyway, we finish eating. The restaurant's kind of busy, so we go outside to look at these products. And it's hot out there, right? Because it's summertime, miserable hot. And so I was like, well, Daniel, let's go right over here, because right next to the street, there's these chairs under some trees. And we go over there, and Daniel immediately makes the observation, because he lives down Chattanooga. He's like, these things, you know, these things probably gonna smell of piss, where the homeless people have pissed on them and stuff. But they've got these armrests on them. They're like metal benches, really, but they got armrests. And I thought, well, that's kind of fancy, you know, oh, there's an osprey nest right up here. He's right up here above us. You see that? I heard him. I didn't even see that nest. But Daniel's like, you know, I'm thinking, man, these are like fancy bus stop benches here, you know, with these armrests. And Daniel's like, they had to put them on to keep the homeless people from sleeping right there. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. But anyway, we're sitting there. Obviously, downtown Chattanooga. We're near a bus stop right here for these things. But we're in the shade, so we're looking at these products. And we weren't there, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. We're sitting there talking, you know, looking at these products and stuff. Wasn't long, but we hadn't been sat down just a few minutes. And here comes the first one up. And this girl, she goes to Daniel immediately. I guess I have that look on me that just says, you ain't getting no money out of me. Like, I just exude that. But Daniel, on the other hand, I've told him, instead of calling him Daniel, I'm gonna start calling him Mark. Because he's a bit of a mark for these homeless people. Like, they're gonna get something out of him. So this first girl comes up, and her story is, she's just been to the dentist. She's got a tooth pulled. Here's a fish. She's got a prescription, and well, this is a harder fighting fish right here now. This is a better fish. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a bass. I knew that one right there. Let's come off the drag a little bit. I'm like, that's fighting a little harder. To be continued on the story. We got a bass to catch right now. Yeah, you just swim out here in open water. You just keep going that way, fish. Ain't nothing for you to break us off on out there. We may have to bust out the net on this one, y'all. I brought it today just in case we hooked a bass or a drum, something big. Come up and jump for us again, why don't you? There he is. Yeah, my 2-pound line here. We're gonna net this one. There we go. Oh, large jaw. Even the osprey up, look at the osprey up there flapping its wings at us. That osprey's happy about this largemouth. You want this fish, osprey? I'll give it to you. I need to piss off some bass fishermen. You hear that bass, largemouth here? I'm willing to give you this osprey if he'll fly down here and get you. I ain't gonna take you up there to him. Yeah, folks, there we go. A little bit bigger bass. We got that one there, first thing that was about 1 inch long. That there's a little bit bigger. Let's throw him on the board right quick. I'd say he's probably 12, 13 inches, don't you think? We'll find out. Yeah, about 13 and a half there, roughly. Nice. Have a fun time on that ultralight, man. Get out of here, old large jaw. Have a fun time. You hook a bass like that on the ultralight, they are fun. Come up flying in the air like that. That osprey ain't having a good time though, is he? He is not happy. That osprey up there yelling at us, fishing near his nest, is like one of these people that owns these docks that get mad for people fishing around their dock and stuff. So back to the story now. The largemouth has done interrupted us. That osprey, man, he is pissed that we're here. He's flying around up there. Look at him. He's telling us about it. Ospreys are cool birds, but boy, they can be annoying if you're trying to fish near their nest. So this girl, we ain't been set down just a few minutes. This girl comes up. She's been to her story is she's been to the dentist, had a tooth pulled. She's got a prescription for some pain pills, but she needs change for a 5. She's got a $5 bill. She's like, do you have 5 ones? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this story already ain't making sense. Like, why does Walgreens or CVS, like, why can't they just break the $5 bill? Like, this don't. And she's like, can you, and you know, of course, we're like, we don't have any cash. And she's like, well, can you cash at me $4? I'll give you $5 bill if you will cash at me $4. Which again, doesn't make any sense. Like I'm just trying in my mind, like I'm trying to play Matlock here with the clues to solve this mystery. But Daniel's like, yeah, sure, I can cash app you. So he ends up cash apping her. She's got her phone ready, of course. This girl, you know, she's supposedly ain't got any money, but she's got an iPhone. Oh, I'm snagged right here. It just kills me, you know, when you coming up and you hitting somebody up like I ain't got no money, and I look at you and you've got an iPhone and Nike tennis shoes on, like I'm gonna call bullshit on it. You know what I mean? Like you've clearly. You're making some money somehow to have Nike tennis shoes and an iPhone. I have an iPhone and I have Nike tennis shoes, and ain't neither one of them cheap. So anyway, it's more or less, I think Daniel's just paying her to go away. So he cash apps her $4, and she walks off, and I'm like, but Daniel, you didn't get the $5 bill that she was trying to trade $5. A $5 bill for $4. You didn't get it. She's like gone. You know, we got to break off here again. So Daniel's out $4 now. So, you know, I'm giving him hell about that because I don't give these people nothing. Like they honestly, they piss me off when they come up because you just every time you're out, every time I go to a larger city and I'm outside, whether I'm walking to a restaurant. Let me try to get this damn thing threaded through here. I got to get my glasses out. There we go. You walk into a restaurant, or God forbid, you got to get gas. Because these people, man, they hang out at gas stations. You pull up to the gas pump, they know you got money. They know you at least got a credit card. Like, hey man, my car's over here. Can you give me some gas? You know what I mean? Like I don't even care about being an asshole to them. Like, I just, no, you ain't getting a dime out of me. Like, no. Because, I mean, some of them undoubtedly are probably telling the truth, right? Like, there's undoubtedly somebody out there that's like, crap, you know, I've left my wallet at home and I'm out of gas. Like, that's happened. You know, like, that's legit. But you get those stories, you hear it every time that you go out in public in one of these big cities. Like, somebody's going to tell you some story of why they need a few bucks out of you. And after you've heard so many of them, you can't believe any of it. So, you know, I'm giving Daniel hell or whatever. And this girl, she walks off. And we're sitting there, we're looking at products and stuff. And a few minutes later, here this girl comes again. And so she ends up sitting down at these other chair, bench area there behind us. And there's another person sitting there. And I'll be damned if she ain't telling him the same story. She just been to the dentist and she just needs $4. And she's trying to trade that guy the $5 bill for $4. The $5 bill, which I still couldn't figure out, like, why. Her story didn't make no damn sense. Like, I just, of all the stories to tell, like, hers did not make any sense whatsoever. She was clearly high as a kite. But Daniel did not trade. He sent her $4 Cash App, but he didn't get that $5 bill. And I don't think the other guy gave her any money, but if he did, I bet you he didn't get that $5 bill either. But they do that all day long, just pestering people. And again, this girl, she had Nike tennis shoes on, she got a phone, you know, like, she clearly got something going on in life. She's got some money coming in somehow. So, we're back to looking at products, you know, shooting the bull. A few more minutes goes by, and I'll be damned, here comes another one. And this guy, he comes up, and we're mid-conversation right here, folks. Like, you know, me and him, we're talking about something there with these products. And this guy comes up beside us, and he does this thing with his hands. He's like, hey guys, don't mean to interrupt here. Not trying to mess up your conversation. I can see you're talking, like, he's just going on and on and on and on. But like, I want to just intervene and be like, but you are. You may not want to do it, but you are. So get on with it. It's what I'm giving him that look, obviously. And I think he can tell right away he ain't getting no money out of me. But Daniel, again, I want to call him Mark because he's a mark for these people. So this guy goes on and on and on. He's like, I work down here at Erlanger. That's a big hospital there in Chattanooga. He's like, I got a job. Like, you know, I make money and all, but sometimes I have problems with transportation. And he's like, he's doing this thing with his hands like, and I'm waiting on him. Like, if you're gonna ask for something, ask for it. Don't let me lead you into it. You know, ask. And so we're just kind of just looking at him. He's like, you know, sometimes I got these problems with transportation. And then Daniel's like, yeah, I've met you before. Me and my wife gave you a ride to the hospital. And this guy was like, really? I don't remember you. And Daniel's like, yeah, me and my wife, we were eating somewhere and you come up and you were saying that you were having trouble with transportation. So we ended up giving you a ride. Now this guy, he didn't remember. Hell, did I just get hung in the same damn snag? Good gosh. We were doing so good. There it comes. We were doing so good with snags. Now we can't get out of them. But Daniel recognizes this guy because he's heard this spiel before and actually gave the guy a ride. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, Daniel, you let this guy in your car, he's gonna. This is how horror movies start. This is like serial killer 101 here. Don't pick up the hitchhiker. But yeah, this guy, he's going on. He's like, yeah, I'm just having some trouble today. Can you help me out? And well, Daniel's like, well, I can't give you a ride today because I'm kind of working. This is a business. We're outside, but this is a business meeting. And then the guy was like, well, can you help me out in another way? Basically hinting that he wants money. And then Daniel's finally like, no. And the guy just gets pissed off, turns around and walks off. Like he don't say anymore. His whole demeanor changed, and he just walks off. And again, Daniel had given this guy a ride before. The guy never even said, he didn't even try to fake it. Like, oh yeah, I remember you, thank you so much, nothing. Like, he just right into getting more money. He's clearly, he's trying to get some drugs, what he's trying to do. And, and Daniel, I could see it in Daniel's face. Like Daniel legitimately wants to help this guy. He wants to help people. And I think it hurt Daniel's feelings that this guy got upset with him. I'm like, Daniel, you gotta, look, I ain't gonna tell anybody how to spend their money, Daniel, if Daniel wants to give these homeless people or these panhandlers a bunch of money and all, you do you. But I'm like, Daniel, you gotta just say no. Just say no. So then I was like, hey, Daniel, can I have 20 bucks? Because I thought, if you're just handing out money today, let me get a 20 off of you here. I just spent $4 in parking to come into this mess down here. So let me get 20 bucks off of you. He ain't got no problem telling me no when I ask him for money. But yeah, I'm just curious y'all's on this. Like, am I the only one out there that's just a total prick when these people come up? Like, I got no problems telling them no. Like, it don't hurt my feelings at all. I got a fish on in a snag. I have a fish and a snag, y'all. He's still on. I feel him. Oh, man. This is another instance here where we've caught a fish and a snag. He's still on. I feel him. I see him right there. I see the fish. There he comes. What's he? He's hung in fishing line. Are you kidding me? Boy, we've had a hard time with line today. This bluegill is literally in the line. Let's get our scissors here. I got me a little small pair of scissors. Boy, there's the fishing line. These bass fishermen, I already hate bass fishermen. They need to do better with their fishing line. Take it with them. I mean, why are they cutting off? I understand, you get hung in trees and you got to break off, but hell, do you have to break off 50 yards of line? I mean, good gosh. Here, let's go this way before we get that line in our prop. Let's swing out. Lord. It's like they cut their line with 100 yards of line hanging on the lure of the tree. This bluegill said he's sick of it too. Goodness gracious. But when it comes to homeless people or the people just walking up and down the street asking people for money because they know they can get it, I got no problem telling them no. And I'm usually pretty blunt about it. As soon as they walk up, I usually just stop and be like, I'm not giving you any money. Save your story. And they go on. Sometimes they huff and puff. Sometimes they cuss me out and whatnot. But I've just got no, one, I'm cheap anyway. Two, I just don't like people. So it don't bother me if somebody in that situation gets pissed off at me. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. But Daniel, he's one of these empathetic people. He's like, even if they are just trying to take advantage of me, the $4 with that girl, the $4 don't mean anything to me, but it'll mean something to her. Like, dang, I'm like, dang, it don't mean anything to her. She's on to the next person as soon as you're done with her there. But I don't know. I think, here's where I think it come from for me. So, you know, before this YouTube crap, I was a nurse, worked ER a long time, did travel nursing, and I've worked all over. And anytime I've ever done a travel nurse contract in a larger city, there's a fish. Anytime you work in a larger city as he pops off, we got shad flipping over here into them trees too. But if you're in a larger city, especially if you're in a downtown area, you're going to have a lot of people in your ER is going to be homeless people, especially if it's raining or if it's really cold. They're going to come in and get them a warm blanket and a meal. They're going to come in there, you know, they got a migraine, chest pain, abdominal pain. Like, they're going to just make some stuff up so they can tie up a bed for a few hours and get them a TV dinner out of you and a place to sleep for a while. And listen, if I was homeless and a rainstorm was coming through, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm better than that, like I wouldn't do the same damn thing, okay? So I get it from that aspect of it. Like, I get it. If I was in their situation, I would probably be the same way. I would hope I would never be in that situation. But if I was just hopeless and no other options, hell, I'd probably go to the damn ER and get me a free meal and a warm blanket too. But after having dealt with these people throughout my whole career and just knowing how a lot of them, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had a homeless person cuss me out because, you know, pick a reason. I give them a TV dinner and it's turkey and they wanted something else. Or you take them a sandwich in there and the cafeteria has put a mustard packet in the box instead of mayonnaise, you know, and they just cuss you out and throw the damn sandwich at you because they didn't get what they wanted. Like, you know, you're here with a handout, you're begging, and you're gonna cuss me out because you didn't get a pack of mayonnaise instead of mustard. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the ungratefulness of it just rubs me the wrong way. And after dealing with that for so many years, I mean, I've just, you know, I mean, it's every town you go to. And they're not, I don't want to just stereotype here like all homeless people are like that. That's not the case. But when you've been cussed out and called every name in the book, and when you've dealt with it time and time and time and time again, you get to a point where it's like, you know what, I'm done with it. So when I see these people out, and I'm walking to a restaurant, I'm minding my own business, or I'm at a gas station, I'm trying to pump my gas, I'm minding my own business, and they come up and they're trying to get money out of me, like, no, I've give you people enough throughout my career. No. The answer's no. Like, I'm not even entertaining their story, nothing. I don't even want to, because they all got a story. Here's what I would appreciate more, and Daniel was the same way. Him and I talked about this, and he was like, this is the same way. You would have better luck with me if you didn't tell me your sob story. Just walk up and be like, hey man, I need $5. Don't want to waste your time. Give me $5, I'm out of here. I might even give them $5 in that situation, just because I'd appreciate them not wasting my time. When they come up and immediately you can't get a word in to tell them no right off the bat, and they want to go into their story, this long-winded story about how everything's went wrong in their life, and then finally 10 minutes later get around to asking you what they really wanted was money to begin with. Like, let's save our time here and just get right to the point. I'd appreciate that, and they would have better odds of getting money out of me in that situation. I worked with a doctor one time. I won't say his name because, you know, this is kind of crap that the board would come after you for. But it was an ER doctor. And, you know, when you work ER, a lot of the people that come in, I've said this before, if ERs depended on actual emergencies to keep the lights on, they'd all go out of business. Because the number of emergencies, true emergencies you get in the ER compared to all of the just BS type stuff, the homeless people, the psychiatric, the drug seekers, the people that should go to a primary care but don't want to pay the copay, you know, that's the bulk of your patients in the ER. But when you work ER, you are going to get a bunch of people just coming in trying to get drugs. And they're smart. They know what to say, what to do to get the drugs out of it. If they come in, they complain of abdominal pain, that's their golden ticket, man, because they know they're going to be in that ER for a few hours because you're going to have to do blood work, you're going to have to do a urinalysis on them, they're going to go to CAT scan. Like, they're going to tie up that bed for a while, and they know that you're not going to want to listen to them hit that call light nonstop, so you better go ahead and give them some pain meds. So you're going to go in there, you know, give them a little morphine when you start their IV and draw their blood, and then they know, because every hospital you go to, one of two things regarding CAT scan, regarding CT. You're either going to wait forever to get the patient to CT, or you got to wait forever to get the CT results back. So they're tying up that bed for a few hours. So they know they're going to get 2 rounds of pain meds before you find out there ain't a damn thing wrong with them and you give them their walking papers. And so, but you got to work them up, because even though you know your BS meter's going off right away, like, you know, like, this person's just looking for drugs, you got to work them up, because you know what? Drug addicts, they get sick too, you know, and that one in 1,000 that's going to come in is going to have a real problem. And if you don't work it up and miss it, well, then a doctor gets sued, malpractice, yada, yada, yada. So they all treat these patients with full workups just out of fear of getting sued. I'll tell you another story about that in a minute. So anyway, I worked with one doctor one time, and he would go into these rooms with these people that you kind of knew they were just looking for drugs. And he'd be like, look, I'm going to straight up ask you something. And if you're honest with me and you tell me the truth, I'm going to write you a prescription. We'll give you some pain meds. We'll get you out the door. But I want to know, are you here today just to try to get some pain meds? If you tell me the truth, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to get you discharge papers, I'm going to write you a script, and we'll get you on the road. If you're here for an actual medical problem, if you're legitimately having the issues that you've come in for with your complaint, then we'll go ahead and work you up. But if you are just here looking for drugs, just don't waste our time, don't tie up our bed. I'll give you enough to get you through here, and we'll get you on the way. You would be surprised. Now, again, that kind of thing, boy, if the board ever found out about that, but he'd be under investigation, they'd probably pull his license. But you'd be surprised how many of these drug addicts would just take him up on the offer and come clean and just take their script and get out. And that was a huge help for when those nights where you're super busy, you know, and you needed that bed. But it was honestly kind of a problem with him, because patients, word got out that he would do that, and people would come in, they'd sign in, realize he ain't there, and then they just get up and leave what they knew. So it was kind of a problem from that aspect. But, like, you know, but it was kind of the same concept. It's like, just tell me what you want. Just get on with it. Don't waste our time. Let's not tie up a bed and for hours and do all of these unnecessary tests and run up a huge bill that you're never going to pay. Let's just get you what you want and get you out the door. Because I had worked with another doctor, and him and I had a conversation about this, about treating, how we treat patients today in the ER. And he did a study for himself. It wasn't like, you know, for a medical journal or anything. It was just for his own, just personal knowledge. Every patient that would come in, he would work them up, just full workup, you know, like you have to do, because you're fearful if you miss something, you're going to get sued. And then he said he would take that same person's complaint and he would pretend like if this person was my family, like if I knew I wasn't going to get sued if I missed something, but I just treated them, I just ordered the test and treated them how I thought, just my knowledge from being a doctor, experience, just treated them how I thought they needed to be treated. He did that for a long, I think it was a year, I'm wanting to say he'd done that before. He figured up, man, if he was treating patients like they were his family, he would order about a third of the tests and procedures that he done versus doing what he had to do out of fear of missing that 1 in 1,000 and getting sued. So it's crazy how much money we waste and how much time we waste, especially in a day and age where that blue jay got him something off the water right there. Did you see that? I've seen a lot of birds dive down in the water. That's the first time I've ever seen a blue jay go down. But sure as the world, he got him something. Dang old blue jay. But yeah, man, we waste so much resources in the hospitals, resources that you just don't have. You don't have the beds, you don't have the staff. Waiting rooms backed up everywhere you go. You know, and a lot of it is due to just fear. Everything is done out of fear these days, and I don't know what the solution to that is. Obviously, if a healthcare worker makes a terrible mistake, there needs to be accountability for that. But at the same time, too, we can't live our lives in fear. You can't. These doctors shouldn't have to do their jobs in fear of getting sued. I shouldn't have to come on this video and oftentimes think, well, gosh, should I edit this out? Because if I don't, and somebody's offended, then I'm going to get canceled, you know. They're going to come after me. Hell, the Chiefs kicker, he's a damn kicker. He's a good one. He's a damn kicker. Gave a college speech recently. Half the damn world's offended by it. You know, and it's like he's giving his thoughts and opinions, and whether or not you agree with it or not, that's all it is. It's one man's thoughts and opinions. They're trying to, there was a petition going around that the Chiefs should cut him. Like he's one of the best kickers in the game. Over a college speech? Like, you know, everybody's so fearful. This culture today, it's cancel everybody if you don't like it. It's like, no. You know, but I don't know what the solution is. But I'll tell you the solution with me, by gosh, is we reel in yet another fish right here. When a person comes up to me, just my experience with them, dealing with them in the ER, that's the better one right here now. That's the better bluegill right here. We're gonna throw back over. That's 2 in a row too. That's a nice one right there. I may throw you on the board, bluegill. I don't think you're gonna reach 8 inches, but I bet he's probably close to 7. Oh, hey, watch them fins on my feet now. You're wild, bluegill. You need to calm it down. I just wanted to tell your parents how big you are. Yeah, he's over 7, probably 7.5. That's one of the better ones today. But yeah, my experience dealing with just people, I think, and that I've dealt with in the ER through the years, like it hardened me off to the point that when one of these homeless people or panhandlers come up to me on the street, I got no problem just bluntly telling them no. And when they huff and puff and act out, like, don't affect me in the least. Like, I'm not gonna lose a wink of sleep over it, man. They can act however they want, be pissed off, and it don't matter to me. But, you know, I'm an asshole like that. I'm kind of a pessimistic jerk. Some people, and it's weird how this works, and I've seen this in other areas too. But when I deal with those type of people, it makes me resent them, I guess, because of their behavior toward me. But you get somebody like Daniel, who's the polar opposite of me. They can be angry toward him, and it will make him more empathetic. He will feel bad for them. He will feel more empathy. The worse they treat him, the more empathy he will feel toward them. And you see that sometimes with these do-gooders. I've worked with a few through the years. Most of the people that I've worked with are more like me than they are the do-gooder type. After a while, you reach, they call it, in nursing, they call it compassion fatigue. And you just run out of compassion. You know, I mean, like you've only got so much compassion you can give, and once that's done, like, you out. It's a term in nursing called compassion fatigue. But I've seen that too with religion's another good example. I know you ain't supposed to talk about religion on YouTube videos and stuff, so I'll tread lightly here, but I'll just make a point with it here quickly. You know, working as an ER nurse, you see a lot of stuff that's kind of bad. You know, how just being around death all the time, and not just death, but like how people die and some of the suffering they go through. Just human suffering, I guess. I mean, not only people that are dying there in the ER, but other patients you deal with that are just going through bad times and have went through bad times for a long time. Cancer patients, or you get your elderly nursing home patients they're alive, but they got no quality of life. Like they come in bed sores all over them, contractures. There's just, you know, there's no quality of life. It's sad, really. When you're dealing with that kind of environment, when it comes to religion, you get two types of people, and I've seen this a lot working in the ER. You generally get people fall into one of two groups. Working in that environment either brings you closer to your God, whatever religious denomination you're into, it brings you closer to that and makes you more devout, or it pushes you farther away from it. It's one or two. Like, you don't have a lot of in between working the ER. It's one or two. They're either more devout, or you're like, man, how can there be a God and you see people suffering like this? It's one of those two situations. You know, and being in the South, that's where even though I was travel nursing, most of my time was spent in the South. I went to Minnesota one time. I went to Washington State one time, but mostly I was in Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky, Virginia, you know, southeastern United States, working. The Bible Belt. You know, you tend to get a few more, I would say there's more devout religious people there than what you're going to get in other parts of the country. But in the ER, I would say, you know, 20% probably lean. Like they work in that environment and they become more hardcore devout religious people. The other 80%, 75, 80% kind of get pushed away from it, you know. But when it comes to dealing with the homeless people and whatnot, like me working in that environment, it definitely pushed me away from them. Like I just got no, I just don't have, I ain't got it in me. I don't. And I ain't ever gonna get it back, I'll tell you that. There ain't no fixing it. Once it's gone, there ain't no fixing it. It's best for me. I try not to go to cities. Like, that's my biggest thing about going down there to Nickajack. I love fishing on Nickajack. I love it. I've caught a bunch of big fish there. I like how the river runs. It's a beautiful area. I hate going to Chattanooga though. I hate the city. It's every time I go down there, don't matter when, what day, what time, like I'm gonna hit traffic. There's always road construction going on. You know, if I want to meet up with Daniel or something to get some lunch, I'm gonna get stuck in traffic. I'm gonna have a hard time parking. Like, I just don't like going to big cities. And you know, Chattanooga, again, it's not a big city. Knoxville, not a big city. But anytime you go to these downtown areas, in these, even though they may not be a huge city, just the fact that they're larger than the surrounding cities, you're gonna have these people that you deal with. And it's just, I just don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with the traffic. I try to avoid it. It's better for me. It's better for humanity that I avoid it. If today I could get somebody to go to Aldi and get my groceries at a reasonable price, I'd do it. Then I'd have to trust them. Now I know you can get your groceries online at Walmart or whatever. Have you seen the people working at Walmart? Do you really trust them to go pick your produce? Come on. I don't want them handling my produce, number one, because I'm pretty sure some of them pick their nose. You know what I'm talking about. I've seen some of them in the Walmart, man. It looks rough in there. Not just the customers walking around, but the staff working it too, buddy. They look rough. These ain't the cleanest, most hygienic people. You want them handling your produce? I don't think so. Second, even if you get a good quality person in there to go pull your order, do you trust them having the smarts to be able to properly pick out your produce? I don't. So, hard for me to give up that control of getting my own groceries. Not that I don't even know if you can have somebody go to Aldi and shop on your behalf, but either way, if I could somehow delegate that, if there was a way, and this may come in the future, if there were shopping robots, well, I'm giving Aldi ideas here. This is another idea free of charge for Aldi. If there were shopping robots, I could log on to my computer or phone and operate that robot around so that I could look at the produce and tell it which one to pick out and tell it which steaks to get, I would totally use it. And then I'd just drive up there and that robot would meet me outside and I wouldn't have any human interaction. Boy, what a great idea that is. That's probably coming in the future though, with all this AI stuff and whatnot. Some of them restaurants like that now, you do your order on a touch screen instead of dealing with a human. The humans are still cooking the food, unfortunately. I would rather, if I'm gonna eat fast food, I would rather give my order to a human and have a computer cook the food than to give my order to a computer and then have some drug addict that ain't washed his hands and ain't washed his hair in a week, having him cook my food. How did we get on this, y'all? Lord Almighty. I don't know how y'all let me get on these topics. I've probably done run off half the audience. I'd be curious to know though, like, you know, with me working ER, most of my friends outside of fishing come from that environment. I mean, we're friends with who we work with, right? So most of my friends come from that environment. So they're all like me for the most part. Just jaded, pessimistic people, if you will. But I'd be curious to know, like, people from other walks of life, or people from other walks of life just as jaded as I am? Or am I kind of in the minority with people as a whole? Because, I mean, these people that's out there panhandling and going from person to person out there on the street, like, if they were never getting any money, they wouldn't do it. Like, they're getting something out, they're getting enough money, they're finding enough Daniels out there to make it worth their while. So that leads me to believe that maybe people like me aren't as common as people like Daniel. But it's a problem though. I mean, if you go downtown somewhere, like, you're gonna get pestered, man. And I feel bad for Daniel, honestly, with his attitude being like that, because he gets pestered a lot. Like, man, you know, with him, especially with him having a company in the fishing industry, people are all the time wanting handouts, man. All the time. They want to be pro staff. They got some charity, some tournament, you know, and you can't say yes to, you can't run a business and say yes to all that. Like, people will they'll just clean you out, you know. You can't give money to every organization and ever want to be fishermen with 32 followers that think they're going to be the next YouTube star. You know, and you read these pro staff applications and stuff, and you're like, that person can't sell shit, that person can't sell shit. You'll never see a return on your investment. And you know, and there's a fish. That one thumped it hard, man. Let's see what this is. Oh, looky here, yellow bass. Howdy do, kind sir, happy to see you. Guess where you're going? In our bucket. We'll take you there with the crappie. Yep, if that one survives, he'll be coming with us too. I hope there's more over there. I hope there's more of them yellow bass. How awesome would it be to get on a school of those? But we've had a few species now. So we've had bluegill, crappie, largemouth bass. We had that either yellow perch or shiner, whatever it was, and now the yellow bass. That's 5 species out here today. That's pretty damn good. And there's still a chance. Oh, and skipjack too. Not on the Gulp, but still skipjack. So there's 6 species. And there's still a chance we could hook a smallmouth down through here too. I wouldn't be shocked at all if we got a smallmouth. Or a white bass even. Something hit me then. But you know, these people, I don't understand it, man. These people hit up all these companies wanting to be on their pro staff team, and they got no following. It's like they think, I think these people in the fishing world, here I go, I've pissed off everybody, I've pissed off all the goody two-shoes out there, the humanitarians of the world. Now I'm gonna piss off some fishermen in my audience. But I think there's a large number of people in the fishing industry, in the fishing world, that think if they can be on a company pro staff team, this bluegill here, if he thinks he can flop around on my floor and get on a pro staff team, that he'll make it. Like that he's somebody now because he's pro staff. They think like being on a company's pro staff team is going to propel them forward. And in reality, that's just not the case. Pro staff means nothing anymore. Back in the 80s, 90s, early 90s maybe, before the internet, if a person You take some bass tournament professional, you'd see them on Bassmaster magazine. They got stickers on their jersey there. They got their boat wrapped in some company logo. Like, that meant something back then. But now everybody's pro staff. Everybody's got a jersey. Everybody's got pro staff stickers. It's just so watered down and diluted, nobody even pays attention to it anymore. You're like, oh, you're pro staff? Well, okay. And then they've got, you click on their Facebook, they got 57 different companies that they're pro staff for. And they're constantly switching in and out of these companies. Okay, well, this rod company gave them a rod this year, so now they're pro staff for this one. Okay, well, next year, that rod company, nobody used that person's discount code or link, so now they're not going to give them a rod anymore, so now they're on to the next company that they can find to give them something. You know, and it's like, it don't work like that. Like, if you're going to be, first off, pro staff is stupid. You shouldn't be pro staff for anybody, okay? That's just the way it is. Pro staff, if you've got enough influence, if you've got a large enough audience to move the sales needle, you shouldn't be pro staff. You should be sponsored. They should be paying you. If you're a pro staff and you got your discount code, and you know, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I guess if you were a bass fisherman and you were using some lure that you went through a lot of, like, I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head. Well, let's use Gulp minnows. You know, I use a lot of Gulp minnows, right? Now, I don't think Berkeley don't give a crap about me. They won't give me the time of day. Pure Fishing is the parent company of Berkeley, and I'm not even on their radar. They don't give a damn about me. But let's just say, a company like that, I use a lot of Gulp minnows. If there was some deal if I could be on their pro staff, they gave me a discount on their product, something that I buy a lot of, maybe that might be worthwhile. It wouldn't be worthwhile for me personally in my situation with this YouTube. But I mean, if you were a random person with zero following, zero subscribers, social media, whatever, you're getting your start. If you could get a company like that to give you a discount on a product you were already buying a lot of to save you a few bucks, like, that might be worthwhile for you. But if you've got any kind of following at all to the point that you can actually drive some sales to a company, like, you should be getting paid for it, not just getting a discount. And so I don't understand the whole obsession with pro staff, but I mean, these companies like Daniel and I'm sure all these other companies the same way, like, man, they get people hitting them up all the time. What is this? What is this right here? Whatever this is, he's fighting like the Dickens, man. Is this another yellow bass potentially? Oh, he come off. No, it wasn't. That was a catfish. I got slime. I'm glad that one come off. That was a channel cat. We caught a break right there. That's about the happiest you're ever going to see me be, to lose a fish. Especially that early on before he could mess up the jig or the line. Hallelujah. But yeah, I mean, companies like Daniel, they get just inundated with requests. You know, can I have some free gear and be on your pro staff? I'm running a charity event. Can I have a bunch of free gear? I'm running a tournament. Can I have a bunch of free gear? You know, it's just, you can't say yes to everybody. You go out of business. I mean, these companies, they can't get every product they give. I mean, it costs them something. So if you want something out of a company, if you're just an individual fisherman, a tournament director, a charity organization, if you want something out of a company, you better figure out a way to give that company a return on their investment. if you're a tournament organization and you're wanting something from a company, come up with a proposal. Don't just send a generic email, hey, I'm running a tournament on, June 30th. Can I have some rods or reels or hooks? Say, hey, I'm running a tournament on June 30th. We're expecting X number of people. If you sponsor this tournament and provide us with so many, X number of dollars worth of merchandise, here's what you'll get in return. We'll have your logo featured here. We're going to shout you out during our awards thing. List it down through there what the company is going to, instead of just sticking your hand out. Here's a fish. Is this damn channel cat again? I hope it ain't the damn channel cat again. What, it don't feel like a bass. It's a larger fish that don't feel like a bass. I think we may have got that dang channel cat again. I was throwing over there in the same area. We're gonna play him out here. Here he comes. He's coming out here our way. At least he's running out here in open water. I'd like to get a look at him to confirm what I think, but then I'd like for him to pop off if he's a channel cat. Y'all know I hate these things. What will this be though? Species number 7? If it is? I'm pretty sure the one that popped off a minute ago was channel cat, because yeah, it is. Danged old channel cat, man. I bet you anything it's the same one too. I'd bet you a shiny nickel. Come here, channel cat. I'm gonna have to net him probably. I'll probably break my line trying to reach down there and get him. He ain't big, but he's big enough with my 2-pound line. You grab that line and reach for him, and he thrashes. He'd probably snap it. You old channel cat, have I told your people how much I can't stand you channel cats? If I never caught, well, I do need to catch a channel cat when I go up to Sandusky Bay for the tournament here soon. I do need to catch some channel cats then. You're a popular fish, channel cat. A lot of people in my audience defend you, but they'll never convince me that you're worth catching. Even up at Sandusky Bay, where I'm gonna need to catch a few for the tournament. Once the tournament's over, I ain't gonna wanna catch another one. Let's see what our line looks like. Is it all slimed up? Yes. Gulp's messed up. That dang channel cat, buddy. Let's get that slime off there. Let's maybe flip this Gulp upside down. There we go. All right, that channel cat didn't slow us down much. We're back in the game. I think that's species number 7 though today. Or I've lost track of how many fish we've got. It's been a bunch, but I'm pretty sure species-wise, that's number 7. That's pretty good, folks. Come out and catch 7 different species in one trip using, well, really 2 lures, I guess, the Gulp and then got that skipjack, of course, on the crappie magnet. But still, 6 species on this one lure, and every one of these fish has been fun to catch on my ultralight setup. I've been having fun, y'all. I've been just, I know I'm just rambling on, telling stories, running my mouth, but I'm having a good time while I'm doing it. But yeah, just to finish up though, if you're a wannabe pro staffer, a tournament organizer, a charity, something, you better have a business plan when you reach out to these companies to say, this is what I can do for you. This is the return you're going to get on your investment. And, you know, because otherwise, I mean, again, these companies are getting blown up with requests every day, multiple requests every day, just one after another after another. Everybody wanting something for free, just because. You know, everybody thinks they're the next big star on YouTube or TikTok. Every tournament thinks their tournament's the best. Every charity thinks their cause is more important than the next. And it's like, you know, these companies, and Daniel, I mean, Catfish Sumo gives a lot. You know, they've sponsored our kayak catfishing tournament trail this year. They've put in a lot to that. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. You know, the thing about charitable people, truly charitable people, and Daniel's one of these types, they don't do it for, they do the charity because they want to be charitable, not because they're looking for advertisement from it. You know, a lot of these companies will say, well, we give X number of dollars to this cause. Look at us, look how great we are. It's like, yeah, you know, you've given money to a good cause, but you're also using that cause as a way to make yourself, you know, to win some customers over, or, you know, advertise for yourself, whatnot. Truly charitable people, every time they make a donation or they help somebody out or help a call, like they're not blasting it all over social media. You know what I mean? Like they're doing it because they want to do it. And so Daniel does a lot of stuff for a lot of people behind the scenes that people would never even know about, in addition to the stuff that he does publicly sponsor and whatnot. But I mean, like, you know, you can't say yes to everything. And when you just get so many requests all the damn time, it's like, if you're the person doing the requesting, you better stand out. You better stand out with against all the other emails and whatnot that's coming through looking for the same damn thing you are. And the best way I know to tell you to do that is to show that company how they're going to benefit from it. Instead of making it all about you, show that company what you can do for them. That will help your cause tremendously, because first off, you're going to stand out amongst the crowd because nobody else is doing that. They're not. They're just saying, hey, I'm so-and-so, I've got 142 Facebook friends. I want to be on your pro staff. Can you hook me up with yada, yada, yada? And they send a list of crap. Nobody says, hey, I've purchased, you know, I already own these products that you make. I love them. I want to do this. Here's what I can do for you, you know, type thing. Nobody does that. So that's how you make yourself stand out if you want to be some kind of pro staffer, which again, I don't know why the hell you'd want to. Go make a name for yourself. You don't need a company to help you. Go make a name for yourself, and then companies will come to you. They'll be wanting to get their products on your videos. They'll be wanting to, you know, you won't have to go to them because they'll be knocking on your door. I'm gonna switch out this Gulp right quick. That channel cat, I think he's messed up our Gulp here. It's probably time to change that thing out anyway. Can't get a hold of one there. We're in bad shape today, y'all. But I'm having fun. Got Lawnmower Man over here behind us. I don't know if it'll be as obnoxious today for y'all because I got the fancy pants microphone on. I'm running my new camera that I just got. I bought another DJI camera. The one DJI had sent me last fall is actually should be back to my house today. I had sent it off for repair because I broke the USB port. So for any of you that's been following along with that and was maybe curious how that process went, I have to say the DJI customer service has been pretty good. I didn't like working with them. I don't ever want to work with them again, just from a content creator perspective. But the customer service side has went well. I sent that camera off last Tuesday via UPS. It showed up to their repair center. I'm in Tennessee, the repair center's in Texas. It showed up there on Thursday. Friday, I got an email from them. They had inspected it. They wanted $18 from me. Apparently it ain't under warranty, that USB port. I paid them the $18 instantly. I had hoped that it would be fixed and sent out that same day and I could have got it Monday. That was not the case. But it did get shipped out on Monday. 2-day air UPS, so it's supposed to be at my house today. If it ain't, it's UPS's fault, not DJI. So, I mean, just over basically from Tuesday to the following Wednesday. And the $18 repair fee, I mean, I'm not upset with that. They provided me with a prepaid shipping label when I sent it back, and I didn't have to pay for them to ship the repaired camera to me here. So, hell, the $18, if I'd had to send it back myself and pay UPS, it would have been probably $18 just to ship it to them, let alone the service fee. So I didn't, like I said, they sent me that camera and microphone and all that last fall. As them shad go crazy over here. And I'm gonna throw over there, something's chasing them. I didn't have the best experience working with them. The process of how they do things is silly to me. I had to interact with a DJI representative in America who would then interact with a DJI representative in New Zealand, where their company is based out of, which is completely like, you know, other side of the world, different. Everybody's in different time zones. I was dealing with a person in California who's 3 hours behind me. They're dealing with somebody in New Zealand, which I don't even know what the hell time zone New Zealand's in. Then there's just too many people in the way. Like, why can't I deal with the people in New Zealand? Why do I got to have a middleman? And so they were wanting stuff from me, like, you know, they want you to say this about the camera. Well, okay. And then they want to see your script. And I'm like, script? Do you not understand how fishing works? Like, this ain't scripted, folks. Like, this is me. I show up wherever I'm going to fish at. I throw this gulp around. If I'm catfishing, I'm gonna drop some baits down. Like, there ain't no, if I could script fishing, like, I'd be catching 100-pounders every damn trip. Like, you don't script fishing. Whatever happens, you go fishing. Whatever happens, happens. That's how it works. Now, if I got to talk about something, you know, if I need to talk about something on a camera, I can do that for a couple minutes. That's easy. I got to talk about something out here. But, like, I can't script that for you ahead of time. And, you know, they wanted all these rights to request changes and modifications, and I'm like, you can't. This is fishing. Like, I can't. What do you suppose? When I'm done fishing today, like, this is the trip. However it turns out, that's the trip. Like, if I misspeak on something, or forget to hit one of the 12 talking points, it's like, you can't go back and just modify that. Am I just supposed to scrap that whole video? I don't think so. You know, and then there was the turnaround time, because they want to see it before it gets posted. And because of the time zone and the fact it's got to go through 2 different people, and then they got to, like, they wanted 5 business days. 5. I'm like, I usually, you know, right now I'm doing good. I've had some good trips and good weather lately, so I've been able to get ahead on videos. But a lot of times I'm flying by the seat of my pants, man. If the weather's not good, or if I suck at fishing for a particular week, maybe I got other stuff I got to do, I can't get on the water, whatever the reason, Like, you know, I may be filming today to get tomorrow's video type thing. I ain't got 5 business days to wait for somebody to get back to me, and not even get back to me so they can get back to the person in California so that person can then reach out to me. Like, I'm like, this sucks. Like, this ain't gonna work. You know, I'm like, if I like your camera, I'll just go buy the damn thing from now on. Like, I ain't gonna do that mess. Too much hassle. But I do like the camera. It's not, I've mentioned a million times before now, it's not as good a video quality as GoPro, but it works. You turn it on, it works. I don't have the glitches, I don't have the overheating. And when I'm filming continuously like this on these unedited trips, not overheating is a big deal. So, this can, well, I say it don't overheat. It does overheat. The DJI camera does they claim it don't, it does. But it keeps recording. You lose access to your screen. Like, you can't turn the screen on when it overheats. But you don't lose your footage. At least I haven't yet. Now, I haven't tried filming with it in 90 degrees direct sun either. Most of my trips here, morning hours, even on days like today where it's miserable hot, we're kind of in the shade here where we're at on these trees, and we're fishing in the more, it's at least even though it's a hot day, it's the coolest portion of the day. Oh, fishy. Oh, that wasn't a bluegill, folks. I don't know what he was, but he didn't, when I first picked up on him there, he didn't act like a bluegill. May have been a little bass or something. He come off instantly though. I'd like to get some more of them yellow bass. If we stumble into them, I love yellow bass. They're great baits. I hope that one will stay alive. Normally they're a pretty hardy bait, but I am gonna have to keep these baits alive for 3 days here. What I'll probably do, when I get back to the launch today, I'll switch out the water in that bucket. When I go home, I've got some frozen water bottles, like basically just ice blocks. I keep them in the freezer. I'll put one of them in there, in that bucket, and then this afternoon I'll switch it out and put another one in. Just try to keep that water cool in the bucket. That helps a lot with keeping baits alive if you can keep them cool. And then I may do like another water change on Friday, bring them back out with me on Friday and do another water change. And hopefully that'll get me through to Saturday, because I would love, like me, Jennifer Lawrence, I love Jennifer Lawrence, like I would love to have that live crappie down there in a tournament. Like full on Jennifer Lawrence type of love. I do love me some Jennifer Lawrence. There was another fish. Missed him. Old Jennifer Lawrence, old Katniss Everdeen. I saw that new Hunger Games movie a while back when it come out. Here's another fish. It was the prequel, so Katniss wasn't in it. But it was pretty good. That whole Hunger Games series has been pretty good. It's kind of it's enough, there's obviously science fiction and all, but it's enough of the type of, it's that type of story that gets me hooked, like something happened in the world, society changed, and this is the world we live in now type thing. Like, I can get into that. As long as it's got some realism to it. Here's another one. 2 in a row. Oh, yellow bass. Heck yeah, buddy. Come on. You're a little small, though. The last one was questionable whether I wanted to keep it because of the size. This one here is even smaller. Oh. Glad he didn't stick me on the way out. Them yellow bass, man, they're prickly. Yeah, it was too small. He wouldn't survive on a 10-aught size hook. Yeah, I'm a sucker for that kind of end of the world or society's collapse type story. Like, I can get into it. But it's got to be some realism involved. But I got into the Hunger Games. Partially just because of Jennifer Lawrence, because she's hot. I think she's married in real life. The girlfriend knows, though, if the day ever comes, if Jennifer Lawrence ever slides into my DMs, like, I'm taking that call, you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna have to need a hall pass here. She'll understand. There's a turtle or something over here, man. I heard him splash. He come off one of them trees, I think. We've had a lot of wildlife today wanting to get on this video, from the geese, the ospreys. I don't think the camera was pointing the way for y'all to see that blue jay flying down and getting something out of the water there, but I saw it. I've never seen a blue jay dive down to the water. That's a first for me. I've been having a lot of blue jays in my yard, though, lately. They must be migrating through, passing through. I feed them and all. It's one of the few guilty pleasures I have in life I don't mind spending money on, is bird seed and them blocks of food. And so I get a lot of blue jays at my feeder here lately, this time of year. But I've never seen one dive down into the water like that and get something. I don't know what he got either. I don't know if it was a shad or something else on the water. We got this huge cicada thing going on, allegedly. It's supposed to be the 7-year brood, 17-year brood, 13-year brood. Yeah, hell, I don't know. Every year's a new cicada hatch, but apparently this one's supposed to be a big deal. But I ain't seen no cicadas around here. You go down to Chickamauga or Nickajack, and I mean, it's deafening. You hear them up in the woods, like, I mean, it's loud. They're all over down there. But up here, I'm on Fort Loudon today. You don't hear them. I ain't heard a single one. So I don't know what's up. I don't know if they just ain't come out here yet, or they just ain't as big a numbers here as what they are down south. I don't know. I'd hope to get on them. Here, oh, I had a fish right there I was about to get on. I'd hope to get on a cicada bite up here, though, with the carp. And go out and catch carp on topwater. But I don't know if it's going to happen if they don't hatch out. I don't know that I necessarily want to drive down to Chickamauga or Nickajack, drive that far to go try to get a carp on topwater. Thumped it. Oh, and I missed him too. What's going on here? We missed 2 fish in a row. Let's throw back over at that tree. There's that old dead tree right there coming off. So we got a barge coming by. Oh, I had another one nip me. There's some fish on that tree. I think they're playing music on that barge. I hope that don't pick up on my fancy pants microphone. There's a way to get rid of that music. You know, that Sam Sulek guy, he's dominating the internet right now. I've watched some of his stuff. If he's in a gym working out, you know there's music blaring, but he can somehow drown that out and just get his voice on the microphone. And you can tell, like, the sound is different with whatever he's doing, but, like, it's not terrible. Like, the audio quality is not terrible. I got to figure out how he's doing that. my editing skills subpar. Another reason why these unedited videos are so appealing to me, because I don't like editing. But I do wish I was better at it as far as audio purposes, when something that can potentially get you dinged for copyright goes by, like a wakeboard or a houseboat, or in this case a barge that for some reason has the radio blasting full bore. It ain't like a normal barge either. It's one of them work barges. Well, we got something splashing over here. Is that skipjack? Something was busting the surface over here by this log. They jumped 2 or 3 times. Make one more cast over there. I mean, if they're going to blast that music from this barge, at least put something worth listening to on it. I think they've got the Spin Doctors on right now. The Spin Doctors. They had like one hit song back in the 80s or 90s, and that's what's playing right there. The Spin Doctors. Like, if you're going to blast music, put something that people want to hear on. You know, don't embarrass yourself with the Spin Doctors. They might as well have Hanson on there. I mean, come on. People are weird, man. I can't remember when it was, a year or 2 ago maybe. I was catching skipjack and I was trolling an area in this cove. And there was a construction crew working on a house or dock or something over there, but they had a radio on. Must have been a CD player. And every time I would make a pass over there by that house and that dock, I'd be hearing Nickelback. Now listen, Nickelback gets a lot of flack from people. A lot of people make fun of Nickelback. They had a few songs back in the day. But there's only so much of it I can handle. And every time I would make a pass by this dock, it was another Nickelback song. And I'm like, how the hell are they listening to that? Look, it's hard to keep staff at any job this day. Nobody wants to work anymore. But if you imagine if you showed up to your work site, if you're a construction worker or any job, and you were forced to listen to Nickelback all day long, that'd make anybody want to quit. I couldn't do it. These people, man, they're into the Spin Doctors over here. They're cranking that stuff. They got it on level 10, man. I bet it's a good lot. You know, people make fun of these music artists and stuff being one-hit wonders. But, I mean, if you get a song that sells millions, gets millions of downloads, and you're getting, I don't know what their cut is. Let's say you buy a song on Apple and it's $1.29, $1.69, whatever it is. Even if the artist just gets a fraction of that, and you sell millions, you get millions of downloads, like that's life-changing money. Like you've made it. You may be known like the Spin Doctors as a one-hit wonder, but you've made it. Like you've got life-changing money out of one song. Like that's pretty dang good. There's worse things in life than being a one-hit wonder. Is it better to be a one-hit wonder? Let me see if I can phrase it right. Is a good day at work of being a one-hit wonder better than a bad day of fishing? If you're getting millions of downloads, I have to think it is. So let's add that to the list of jobs. CIA agent, M&M taste tester, adult film star, and now one-hit wonder. Add that to the list, somebody. I want an asterisk next to that saying. We're going to get that done. Some of y'all out there with computer skills can make that happen. Now, if I had a job like they're doing with this barge over here, again, I think they're probably building docks or something. But if I had a job like that, then I think a bad day of fishing would be better than a good day of work. Like that saying probably covers most jobs. I would say that saying covers 95 to 98% of the jobs out there. Because most people hate their jobs. That's just reality. And even if they maybe don't hate their jobs or the type of work that they do, maybe they hate their boss or the place that they work for. Maybe they like their job, but they don't like the people they work with. You know, there's a lot of that. But I would say probably only maybe 2 to 5% of people love their job. Like wake up every day excited about going to their job. It's got to be a small percentage. I guarantee you though, a male adult film star has never woke up and be like, gosh, I really don't want to go to work today and get it on with hot chicks. I guarantee you that you've never heard a male adult film star say that. A lot of people, office jobs, construction workers, mechanics, you know, carpenters, welders. I guarantee you, a lot of those people, me when I was a nurse, man, you wake up, you're like, man, I don't want to go to work today. The adult film star, though, you've never heard them say that. They've never woke up and been like, man, I'm gonna call in sick today. I just don't want to go to work today. That's a rare job, though. 2 to 5% was my guess. 2 to 5%. People actually like their jobs. They went to the Eagles now. They went from spin doctors to Eagles on that barge. They've got a mixtape apparently. I bet you it's an actual cassette player in there. Eagles is another one. I was never a fan of the Eagles. Eagles are one, and the Beatles are like I don't think there's a single Beatles song that I'm into. And like the Beatles are huge worldwide. I mean, everybody loves the Beatles apparently except me. But like I'm just not into the Beatles. Never was. Star Wars is another thing. I think when I was a kid, I think Star Wars come out before I was born. And I went forever without watching it because people wanted me to watch it because it's this great thing, and so I refused to do it because I'm kind of a anti-authority, you know. I don't want to do something just because people want me to do it. It'll make me not want to do it. So I went forever without watching Star Wars. And I finally watched it as an adult. And I can't remember how old I was. But I was like, this sucks. Like, I couldn't get into it. I didn't even finish it. I turned it off. Like, I just couldn't get into Star Wars. I was like, I just can't. I don't know. I guess you had to watch it as a kid or something. But as an adult now, watching that movie, like, I couldn't get into it. So Star Wars, Beatles, Eagles, just not me. Not for me. There's a fish. Bluegill, where you been? I feel like we went through a little dry spell there. Bluegill. He said he's been waiting his whole life on me. He's wanted to be on this video. He got caught a little late on it, Bluegill. Probably ain't nobody still watching at this hour. Some of yous do, though. I'm impressed you can stick with me that long. There's a fairly large number of yous that'll go on these trips with me and be here to the very end. I appreciate you coming with me regardless, but especially those of yous that ride it out through my endless stories and rants and stuff. I ain't ranted too much today. There really ain't much pissed me off the last couple days. The windshield's frustrating, obviously, because I hate spending money, and there's going to go $500. But that's just one of the things. You're going to drive a car, apparently. And I don't know. Do people in like trucks and SUVs, do your all's windshields get busted out all the time too? I don't know. I assume it's because I'm in a car. Yeah, let's switch out that Gulp. That one there's tore up. I mean, I assume it's because I'm riding lower to the ground, so my windshield's taking more hits from rocks and pebbles and stuff than what a car that sits up higher would take. But, you know, that's just me assuming. I really don't know. But I can't understand for the life of me in 2024 how we don't have windshields that won't break. I mean, I've dropped my iPhone, I don't know how many times. Boat ramp parking lots, concrete, asphalt, gravel. I know I've dropped it on my floor at the house a bunch. Hell, at least once a week when I wake up in the mornings. While I'm trying to reach for my phone, I knock it off my nightstand and it hits the floor. Never breaks. No cracks, no scratches, no case on it, but yet windshield, little pebble. And it ain't just that the grass or the glass gets cracked. It's that it ends up spreading all the way across your windshield. It's like you would think they would be able to design a glass that would, if you did have some damage, like it would confine the damage to that spot. But it makes too much sense, I guess. It's probably better to keep the glass markup is apparently so good, it's better to just keep selling people windshields at $500 a pop. I'm on to the racket, man. I'm on to their games. I need to reach out to my CIA agent friend Travis, see if he still works at that windshield manufacturing plant. I need to fish with him again. He was in a couple videos early on my channel when he actually showed up when he said he was going to. Yeah, I mean, seriously though, do y'all know anybody? Do you have anybody in your life that's like that? Like you have plans, you see them the day before, and you're like, okay, hey, we're meeting here at this time tomorrow, and then they're a no call, no show the next day, and then when you do see them again, a week, 2 weeks, a month later, they're like, what are you talking about? Oh, you called? You texted? Well, hell. You know, I got these two phones. Must not have been working or something. Maybe I had my other phone with me. You know, it's like, I'm like, am I in the twilight zone here? Like, is this happening again? And it ain't like it happened with him one time. Like, he didn't just space out one time. Like, it was an ongoing thing. Like, it was just, I come up with, I used to call it getting Travised. Because it happened so frequently. I'd be like, yeah, I had plans to fish with Travis this morning, but I got Travised. He didn't call, didn't show. That's why it's best I fish by myself, ain't it, bluegill? Then you don't have to worry about nobody but your damn self. As long as I show up and the fish show up, that's all that matters. Everybody else unreliable. I can always count on myself. I may be late, but I'm gonna show up. Every time. These bluegill usually show up too when you're ultralight fishing. I did have that one trip recently. I was down at Watts Bar Dam and I fished the riprap, and I fished a good long stretch of it, and I didn't get a single bluegill. I got bass, got a nice smallmouth, nice largemouth, hooked another one that I lost, but I didn't get a single bluegill that day. Didn't even get a peck from a bluegill. It was crazy. Most of the time though, you can come out and expect the bluegill to show up for you doing this, especially if it's this time of year, you know, warm months when the water's warm and metabolism's high. Wintertime can be tough if fish are deep or water's super cold, but spring, summer, fall, bluegill bite's pretty reliable. Even if you don't catch nothing else, you usually get some bluegill with this. I mean, we've got several species today. Like, it's been a good day for a number of species. Go home with them 2 live baits and pumped up about. Hopefully turn them into a little money on Saturday if we get a big catfish to eat them. I think though, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, I think bluegill's gonna be the bait. I think bluegill is gonna be what gets it done for me. And I'm gonna make sure I've got plenty in the cooler and some to put on there live too. So, it may be fool's gold. It may look like gold and then get there on tournament day and it not be worthwhile, but I just, for some reason, I think it's gonna be the play. I'm gonna have some skipjack though, for sure. Especially now that I know. I mean, if I show up here on Friday and for some reason can't get any out here, then I'm at least gonna know I can probably make a run down to the next creek. And if they're not here, that means they've moved on to there. So I feel pretty good about getting on them. I struggled to get on some skipjack lately because they've been in kind of transition, moving from upriver back down. And that happens when they start that move. You know, it can be tough to get on them for a little bit, but once you can follow them and kind of pattern where they're at, you can usually stay on them. That's one thing that YouTube, doing this YouTube stuff, has helped me with, is it's helped me stay on bait. I used to, back when I didn't get to fish as much, what I'd do is I'd stock up in the spring. I'd catch a bunch of them when the bite was easy, put them in the freezer. And I'd use them frozen ones throughout the summer and into fall there. But since I've obviously, I got more time now to fish with doing this YouTube stuff, and just the time that I have spent, I've gotten better, and I've been able to kind of pattern them and kind of know where they're going to be and when and what they're going to be doing. I don't even have any. We got a fish on, and he's in something over here. He's in something. Let's see if he'll come out of it. Okay, there he come. That fish worked himself out of the snag. This is a helpful fish right here. But yeah, like I don't even keep, I've got some frozen suckers in my freezer right now, but I don't have any frozen skipjack. Like I just don't. I'd rather use fresh anyway, and I'm confident enough that I can get fresh most of the time. So I don't keep them anymore. That's really skipjack's the only bait, in my opinion, that's really worthwhile to use frozen. Like I've tried freezing other things in the past, bluegill, white bass, shad. I've got them suckers in my freezer now that's frozen, but I ain't done any good with them either. But skipjack, I've caught a lot of big fish through the years, frozen skipjack. I'd rather have fresh, but I've caught a lot of big fish on the frozen. But the other stuff, it just don't do well for me. So I don't freeze. Shad gets mushy when it thaws. Like you need larger shad, and you need to really prepare them right to get them to be good quality when you thaw them out to use them. But bluegill, white bass, crappie, stuff like that, I just, and even these suckers that I've got in my freezer now, like I just don't do well with them. Catch some fish, but you're not getting like, if I go catfishing, I want a chance at a good, if I'm going numbers fishing, I want to do this right here, the ultralight. When I go catfishing, I'm going after large fish. I'm hoping to get large fish. But I think tournament day, it may be a bluegill that does it for me, y'all, if it gets done. Should be the next video though, so stay tuned. If you're seeing this, then the next video is coming. My channel members, I'll probably release that video early for them. My channel members are a big help to me getting to go do the tournaments and take them trips and stuff. So I try to make them exclusive videos, kind of behind the scenes stuff. And the tournament videos are pretty popular, so try to release them a little early so that they can see them whenever I get them done edited. Tournament videos, that's about the only edited videos I'm doing anymore for this channel, is the tournament ones. And I've thought about doing unedited tournament videos, but I don't know that I could sit out there and talk and tell stories for 8 straight hours. I mean, at some point, I'm going to have to pee during a tournament, at least once. I'm going to need to eat a snack at some point. Nobody wants to hear me chew on camera. And I just don't know that I can talk for 8 hours. And then it's like, is somebody going to really watch for 8 hours? I mean, obviously you wouldn't watch it on one day. So I don't know. I've kicked around that idea, but I haven't followed through with it. I think that's kind of the trips to edit for now. And if it's a slow day, like, with the spawn going on and stuff, like if it's a slow day, it may be a shorter video anyway, with just limited action. But I think there's a pretty good chance I'm just going to go to that hole that I caught that big one out of and just drop baits down for 8 hours. And just whatever happens, happens. Hopefully 3 big fish swim by my baits during the tournament time. That's what I'm hoping for. I also think what I'm going to do for that tournament video, since I'm going to edit it, I'm going to throw on Daphne's bicycle to that video. She got another bicycle, electric bike. This is probably going to be the last electric bike because I haven't had any other companies reach out in a while. So probably be the last one of this year unless she just gets lucky somehow, gets another offer. But I'll probably throw it on to the tournament video since I'm not probably going to be editing any more trips for this channel for the foreseeable future. As long as these unedited videos keep doing well, I would rather keep doing them because I enjoy this more. So as long as you all are watching and enjoying it, I don't see a need to go back to the other. I can still edit stuff for my other channel this winter from these longer videos. Like these ultralight trips, for instance. If something cool happens, I can edit that part out and make it a shorter video for my second channel. Or if I go catfishing, unedited trip, and I get 2 or 3 big fish, well, I can go back and edit those big fish out for a shorter video there on the second channel. But I could do that in the winter when it's cold and miserable outside or something. Right now, I want to reel in this, oh, I lost him. I was going to say I want to reel in that fish right now. But this time of year, weather's warm, water's good, fishing's good. I want to spend my time doing stuff, not behind a computer screen. Something's up there. I got hit. Something's up there in them woods walking around. I don't know if it's a squirrel or a deer. Well, you need a deer to get a cameo on this video. That's about the one, a deer and a turkey is about the only wildlife we're missing at this point. They're out here. We've probably went right by them and didn't even know it. Something's up there in them woods though. It may just be squirrels. It's funny how them squirrels, being such a small animal, can walk around like this bluegill flopping around on the water. But they can walk around in such a way that it almost sounds like a human sometimes walking through the woods. That right, bluegill. You seen any deer today, bluegill? He ain't telling me. That bluegill's got a problem with me. He don't like me none. I like him though. I like catching bluegill. Even the little, you know, most of these bluegill today, and I've noticed that on Fort Loudon, you know, again, I'm on Fort Loudon Reservoir. It's the first reservoir of the Tennessee River. The bluegill here, at least the areas that I've fished, tend to run a little smaller than some places. Like out here, it seems like if I get, you know, we had that one bluegill earlier that was 7.5 inches. That's a pretty good bluegill for out here. You know, other places I fish, like Melton Hill, for instance, it's a reservoir close to here on the Clinch River. When I go there, I get a pretty good number of bluegill that are over 8 inches there. But Fort Loudon, Watts Bar, like you get good numbers of bluegill, but I'm not getting those 8 inchers very often. 7 incher is pretty good. The 4, 5, 6 inchers, plentiful. And they're fun on this tackle, but you're just not getting a lot of 8-inch specimens. You know, me being in this kayak today, I don't have the graph set up on here. So it could be a situation where like that tree where we got that crappie on, man, that thing could have been stacked with crappie for all I know. If we had live scope, we'd seen it, but when I'm doing this style of fishing, most of the time, I'd rather just come out here and go fishing. Just throw. Just have that anticipation of the next bite coming. I may bring out, when I come back out here on Friday to get bait, I'll probably bring my other kayak with the live scope, and I'll probably go scan that tree where we got that crappie again before I go, just to see if I could, you know, pick off another crappie or two. But just to come out and go fishing, like this right here is where it's at, man. Minimal tackle, just some jig heads, which we haven't went through very many today. 3 or 4, I guess. Some gulp. Caught a bunch of fish. 7 species. It's been a good day, man. I love this. I have fun with this. If y'all give this style of fishing a chance, you'll have fun with it too, I promise. If you like fishing, you know, some people kind of snobby about their fishing. These bass fishermen, you know, if it ain't a largemouth bass or smallmouth bass, they don't want it. And so some catfishermen like that too. If it ain't a big blue or flathead, they don't want to fool with it. Oh crap, I threw over that limb over there. But me, I mean, I love the big catfish, obviously. But I just like fishing in general, you know. I like catching whatever wants to play. And fortunately, with this ultralight technique, there's a lot of fish that want to play. They're not going to play up here on this limb where I've looped this jig over. Actually, I think it was y'all that cast over that. I would have never, my aim would never be that far off that I would throw over a limb like that. Well, I've got that thing. I've got it wrapped around and that hook's down in the wood there. Let's see if we can use our net here to pull us over to it. We're improvising, folks. You know what, maybe it'd be easier if I swung around the other way. This is gonna be another situation where I go to great effort to save a 10-cent jig and end up costing myself a bunch of time and energy when I get hung in a tree with my other rods, or God forbid we get more fishing line around our prop. I still can't believe we had all that line in our prop while I was trying to get untangled from the tree. You know, today we had minimal current out here today, obviously. Water barely moves up here, even when they're generating at the dam, the water barely moves through here. Got to have a lot of rain to really get this water moving. But like, if we were in a different body of water that had some flow to it, and we got all that fishing line around our prop, and like got in the trees and stuff, like that could have been a bad situation. Because I mean, it took a little while to cut that out, and that fishing line was so strong. Like, I mean, I had to cut it. Like, I couldn't break that with my hands. So if the current had been pushing us, I'm gonna get hung in these trees right here, y'all. The wind's pushing me into the trees. Crisis averted. Let's go around this tree here. But you know what I mean, though? Like, if we got that line in our prop, 40, 50-pound line, wherever the hell it was, and the current had been pushing us, and we couldn't get that line cut in time, like that could have been some problems. It was enough problems as it was. It took forever. Probably lost half the audience. The other half that stuck around was laughing at me, making fun of me. I ain't gonna fish too terribly much longer. Let me see what time it is here. I think we've been out here about 4 hours now. We've been at this. Yeah, we'll have to wrap it up, go get some groceries, go home, let Daphne the dog out, get some lunch, probably hang out in the air condition today. That's probably what I'm gonna do. It's that time of year, man. I like to get my fishing done early. And if somebody wants to be on the water after that, and their jet skis and wakeboard boats, they can have it. They can get out here and roast. I'll be in an air condition, far away from people as I can get. See if we can catch us another fish though before we call it quits on the day. I might even, I ain't gonna. Normally I'd throw out them skipjack rods behind me, but today I probably won't. I'll probably just head on back, because them skipjack, since they weren't real thick around here, if we'd come out at first light and was trolling around, we'd have probably got a bunch more. But we only got them two, and then the sun was up and we stopped seeing them busting and stuff, so probably don't want to risk hooking a few, maybe accidentally killing them or something, because I might need that. That might be the one skipjack I need on Friday if the bite ain't real good. I think I'll get enough though, based on what I saw today. They just gonna be real skinny. It's gonna take them a while to get their weight back on. It's another reason for me pedaling today, y'all. I had 2 Pepsis yesterday. Well, I had a Coke, and then I had a Pepsi. Normally, I try to limit myself to 1 Pepsi a day. I had 2. So I said, you know what, I need to be out here in my pedal kayak today. Pedaling a little bit, burning off some calories. Good exercise before you get out here and pedal a kayak. Good for the soul too, to be out here on the water catching a few fish. Of course, if I had been able to say the cuss words I wanted to say whenever I was tangled up in that tree and the fishing line, it may not have been good for the soul in that situation. You know what I mean? You know, my pedal drive ain't locked down. Boy, these fish, I mean, the bite, I feel like, I mean, we've been getting bit consistently all the way down through here. I do feel like the bite has slowed down on a smidge. Either, maybe it's been my imagination, but I'd like to close out here on a fish. And I feel like maybe it's slowed down. Maybe it's time of day. Maybe just, there, I had one hit me then. Maybe it's just a section that we're on here. You know, you go through little stretches of just dead areas where there ain't no fish and ain't no life, and then you get on an area that's just packed with them. Oh, I had one hit me then. There's something over there. Better not be no channel cat. We've had our fill of them things today. One is one too many. Unless I'm at a tournament there at Sandusky Bay. And then I need about 5 34-inchers. I feel like the wind is starting to pick up a little bit too. It ain't bad, like it ain't to the point of interfering with what we're doing, but it was calm when we got out here today. I don't know if it's supposed to pick up through the day or not. I knew it was gonna be fine this morning. I know tomorrow, that's why I wasn't gonna keep none of them skipjacks. Look at this. Look at that bird up there. I think that's an osprey. Or a hawk, maybe a hawk. He's circling around. Tomorrow, weather's supposed to be bad. So I knew I wasn't gonna get to fish tomorrow. I don't know if we're gonna catch another one, y'all. Now that these fish know, no fish, all these fish line up to be the first one on the video. That's a prestigious honor. None of them want to be the last one. They all, I guess it must be frowned upon in the fishing community to be the last fish on a video. You know, you would think, because like, what if something happened to me? God forbid. What if the next fish is the last fish I ever catch? You would think that that fish would feel honored, but apparently not. I hope it ain't the last fish I ever catch. I hope the last fish isn't the last fish I ever catch. Never know though. Things happen. Maybe that last one that we got may be the last one of the day. I know that, man. I don't know if my battery's gonna last much longer. These fish so ungrateful. They're like the damn homeless people that you give a turkey sandwich to, but it's got mustard and they want mayonnaise. Just throw the damn thing back at you. I don't want it. I deserve better than this. Well, you know what, buddy? Go down to the damn cafeteria and you go down there, bust out your change purse and buy whatever you want to. But if you're getting it from me, you're getting whatever the cafeteria sent to us. If it's a Salisbury steak TV dinner, then you're getting Salisbury steak. If it's a turkey sandwich with mustard, then you're eating mustard. I just think if I was starving in that situation and somebody was giving me something, I'd be happy to get whatever I got. At least that's how I think I'd be. Hell, I'm like that now. I mean, somebody gives me free food now, even if it ain't exactly what I want, still, it's free. I really wonder though, like, are we just going through like a little dead stretch here, or is it time of day, or these fish truly just don't want to be the last one on the video? Like, I'm about to just throw in the towel. And something will give me a little tap. I think this is the longest stretch though that we've went without catching one, I think. Maybe it's just because I'm thinking about it, but it don't seem like we'd went this long without getting a bite today, without reeling one in. Well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. If these fish don't want to be the last one on the video, heck with them. I'm making this last cast and this is it. Now I'm going to the Audi. I'm going home. And these fish, they ain't gonna care. It ain't gonna, well, I thought I had me one. It ain't gonna hurt their feelings at all. They're gonna go on about their day like I was never even out here. Oh, look right here. He snatched it the last second. This fish, he couldn't miss his opportunity. He couldn't do it. He heard that was the last cast and he knew I was serious about it. Come on up here, fish. You know what, you're a good bluegill. I don't care what they say. Everybody said something bad about you, bluegill, they've lied. You are a good man. I like you, bluegill. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for being the last fish of the video. Coming through in the clutch, man. Final seconds. The bait was almost back to me on the final cast. We got to close it out with a fish after all, y'all. How about that? So anyway, y'all, though, I am gonna get out of here. We had a nice stretch here. We didn't cover a ton of water today, but boy, we caught a lot of fish in the area that we did. So 7 different species, a lot of numbers of fish. Found us some skipjack for me to come back and get some bait for on tournament day here, on Friday when I come back. So productive trip, man. I'm going home happy, but I'm going home. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for coming with me today.